Cassiopeia may be locked in. Now, Cassiopeia,
oh, yeah.
We always talk about how good EasyHoon's Cassiopeia is, and especially in comparison to Faker, who is also skilled on the champion, but funny story is that Faker is actually professionally undefeated on Cassiopeia. So while we normally associate that champion with EasyHoon, Faker is 3-0 so far in professional games playing it himself, so no slouch.
No, not at all. Been able to make plays on that like any other champion. Maybe Lulu and Noon? No. We'll see what Najin actually picks. I don't know about that Xerath. What do you think?
I would definitely not recommend picking that Xerath. I think Xerath is really not very good in the current meta. Take the Ahri instead. Yeah. Go with the Nunu. Try and get some sort of hyper carry performance here. And why not go with what worked last week? Ahri it will be alongside the Nunu for watch. So setting OQ up, the Vayne pick may be incoming.
Yeah, certainly could be. I keep waiting for the day where SKT just fakes everybody out and sends Cassiopeia to the top lane, and then Faker gets to pick like a sick counter pick. Very last on red side.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Probably not this game, at least. No. So
what is this? Where is this Nunu going? Is the question. Is this a support Nunu? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Duke just switched up to teleport Flash. Is Duke playing top Sejuani?
Top teleport Sejuani.
I don't know what the answer to this question is. Obviously, Sejuani does have some escape mechanisms from the laning phase, but probably a little bit of a challenge to farm early on with that champion.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, you could sit under turret and sort of like AoE, I guess, but I feel like you'd probably get pushed back pretty hard.
So Rek'Sai and Corki here. Now, there's no guarantee that this Rek'Sai is going into the jungle.
Yeah.
Could very well go top lane. Top lane Rek'Sai with Black Cleaver is so powerful right now.
All right. And there is the Vayne. So it looks like this will probably be a support Nunu then, unless Pierre wants to play support Sejuani.
Or support Maokai, please.
Yeah, support Maokai as well.
Both supports we've had.
Support Ahri. Maokai mid. Yeah, Ahri's got the charm, you know. Get those sick 2v2s.
All right. Well, in any case, yeah, it looks like it will be a support Nunu in this game, like you mentioned. So it's all about powering up that Vayne again, and they've got enough crowd control to peel for Vayne. So Najin going with what worked against the Ku Tigers. Now, Rumble may go ahead and round out this composition. They want some power in the early game to try and take down Najin. Maokai falling surprisingly far through the picks and bans this time, and that's going to be the Rumble lock-in. So they have some good scaling here with the Cassiopeia in mid lane, and they also have some really nice punch in the mid game with Corki and with Rumble. Maybe lacking a little bit of tankiness here, but they do have the Alistar to offset that somewhat. But even so, Najin, with all that crowd control and their hyper carry with a blood boil in the late game, is going to be difficult for SKT to deal with. So SKT needs to look for some early dragon fights here with the Corki. Try and scale off the dragon more than anything else.
Well, the interesting thing, too, is that Sivir fell all the way through picks and bans this game as well.
Yeah. I mean, generally speaking, SKT is a team that likes to play with the Corki, so that doesn't surprise me quite so much.
Still, though.
And OQ's been all about this Vayne recently.
He certainly has been. And, you know, the thing is with the Nunu, this is a Vayne that can also push pretty fast in lane as well, too. If they can poke people out, they can do a lot of damage to the turret.
The problem is still you have the wave clear issue with Vayne.
Right.
There's no AoE, so Corki will probably be able to do more damage to the turret just because he'll be able to get the minions down faster.
Nunu absolute zero wave clear.
There you go.
Problem solved. There. Why am I not coaching an NALCS team?
I hear that's about what it takes.
Maybe next season. Here we go, guys. Najin versus SK Telecom. Game number 1. It's go time. It was actually supposed to be me getting that CLG job. I sent them all the emails, but you just put your name on it. They're like, wow, this guy's brilliant. The truth comes out, Monty. I can't hide it anymore.
I've been exposed.
Again. Well, here we go. Najin versus SK Telecom. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Bang using the wildly inappropriate for this time of year snow, what is that thing called? Bobsled? Yeah.
Toboggan?
No, bobsled. Definitely a bobsled, Corky. It's like a two-man bobsled.
I know, I see that, but
I mean,
I thought it was actually called toboggan instead of bobsled.
Well, that I think would be incorrect because a toboggan doesn't have like a top on it, does it? It's just like a regular sled. Oh, Goon taking some damage as SK Telecom chases him away.
Yeah, I'm just going to use the Q for the speed boost to make sure he gets out of there. Wolf not wanting to commit with a flash pulverized this early on, and instead OQ going to be trying to get in a deep ward on the top side after seeing that invade so they can get this lane swap. Having a new Vayne lane would not be a great thing for a 2v2 matchup as we see.
Yeah, it looks like
Bang and Wolf heading to the top side.
Yeah, Najin's going to be able to call the lane swap and get that 2v2.
Yeah, not too surprising.
Yeah.
And OQ is...
some cheese. Or just seeing who comes in lanes, I suppose.
He's waiting to freeze the wave when the wave comes, so...
I want some cheese.
Well, we can go get a pizza afterwards.
No, we just need to wait for Bang to show. Oh, he's running away. What a coward! You coward!
Very difficult to cheese as a solo Vayne at level 1.
Oh, man. Wolf using that very disturbing, a lot of disturbing skins in this game. The Cowboy Alistar, like, herds his own people. Weird.
That's right. He's basically a slave lord.
Very bizarre. The Immortan Joe of League of Legends. Yep. Well, in the meanwhile, we'll see how this Faker Goong lane goes. Goong already having to pop a couple biscuits. But overall, it might be a little bit of a quieter early game this time.
Yeah. We'll see. The junglers could really affect this one. And if Goong keeps pushing up like that, he does leave himself pre-6 vulnerable to this Rek'Sai, but not quite at this stage. You see backed off right there just in case there was going to be a level 2 gank coming in, so he's playing somewhat cautiously. Couple CS lost under the turret right there.
Yep.
For OQ. I mean, Pure not going to be too useful in helping him CS early on. Does have the Relic Shield, though, on the Nunu. It's been so long since we've seen a support Nunu, Doa.
Yeah, it's been a really long time. And, you know, like you mentioned, it just doesn't have a ton of lane presence. There's not a lot of harassment you can do, which is a pretty core component of most supports these days. Oh, Faker gets it with that charm. Gets poked pretty hard by Goong, actually. Not afraid, though. Look at all that damage from Faker. Faker, wow, if he had had an ignite.
Watch was right there, but Tom had seen Watch enter that brush with the Tremor Sense. Otherwise, Faker may have all in that. Now, Faker didn't have Ignite.
Yeah. Well, if he had Ignite, he probably could have killed him just with that right there.
Yeah, no Ignite, though. Just has the cleanse to deal with the charms. Doesn't want to get all in. Also, just so much range CC here. You've got the Glacial Prison as well. Taking a look at the win rates on these champions. Bang sporting an impressive 90%. He's played that Corky a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So to maintain a win rate like that is pretty impressive. Decent KDA as well. And I would say better equipped than ever against the snowballs from Nunu with that skin.
So you can just glide on by.
They just deflect off the toboggan. It's just a fun word to say, you know?
It's a good word.
Toboggan.
I wonder where it came from.
Probably some, I'm just going to make a wild guess here, but some Scandinavian country. Why should I not make wild guesses? Isn't that what this is all about?
That's right. That's what being a professional is, Noah.
Wild guesses. That's right. Well, Bang and Wolf understandably pushing this lane back to turret again. And in the mid lane, more farm.
You know, though, Tom doing his typical Tom thing and putting a million wards around the dragon early so he can fight the jungler if they ever go into his river. This is Tom's river. The bottom side is always Tom's river. You never get to go down there. If you come down there, he fights you in the river.
Do you think they'd ever want to leave Vayne alone up in the... Oh, man. Meanwhile, Action Goong has to flash away. Looks like they'll get the summoner. So a little win for SK Telecom there. No flashes used on the SKT side for that one.
Yeah, caught him out there because he started to move over to that side, and with so many wards around that area, it was just a free tunnel knock-up for Tom in order to blow that flash.
So I was about to ask, do you think they would leave Vayne alone in the top lane and maybe send Nunu over to try to take an early dragon?
Oh,
try to help Watch take an early dragon, perhaps?
Maybe. That's a possibility, but I don't know if this Nunu has any points in consume right now, which might make it difficult.
True.
Not really a reason to take consume unless you're being heavily harassed, which they aren't going to be quite yet, just because this Alistar is mostly just a healing cow right now.
Right.
See what they do, though.
Watch a little bit of action on to Marin in the bot lane here. Duke chasing him. There's the equalizer just to get the slow. Marin turns around for a moment. That may have been a bad idea as he gets knocked up by Watch. There's the flash. And it looks like it's going to be enough, but another summoner taken out. Oh, wow, did he barely hide in there? I don't think they saw Wolf. Oh, no, they did. All right,
they did.
Wolf in there.
Yeah, they didn't see him until they threw the sapling in, but they suspected, considering that nobody in the top lane's on the map right now, and they're trying to initiate this lane swap, and we're going to have to see Marin TP just to make sure that he gets all the golden experience off of that wave.
Okay, so this could actually lead possibly to a dragon opportunity for Najin, depending on if they can take advantage of that teleport being down for Marin. We'll see. A little bit of counter juggling from Tom, stealing 3 of the 4 Raptors. Oh, Baker really chunking out Goong here. Gets charmed, but Goong can't stick around. He's taking too much damage.
Those trades from Cassiopeia really brutal.
Well, Faker's starting to get a pretty massive CS lead in this mid lane as well, too. Up over 40, oh, not 40, 20 already.
Yeah, Marin somehow picked up a rather significant CS lead, 2 up against Duke, and do see the dual lane standing smack dab in a ward and tri-brush right now, so they will have to back off, head back down in the lane, and now damage onto the tower as Tom's tunnel farm in the bottom side. You can see he really hasn't spent any time at all on that top side of the map.
Yeah, well, I mean, the bot lane was pretty safe up there, and I suppose Marin's fairly safe up there now as well. We'll see if Watch wants to maybe try to take advantage of that. Looks to be hopping over the Baron Pit wall as we speak here. All right, no wards. Maybe an opportunity. Ult up for Marin. Ah, here he comes. Yep. It's like, oh, okay, I don't want to ward that right now. I already know.
Well, he didn't have any wards to ward it, so
okay.
That would have been a bit challenging. Just trying to check that brush, though, to see if anybody was in there. That's a good sense. I mean, a problem that Marin has had has been not playing as cautiously as he should when he doesn't have wards down. So that's a pretty nice adaptation that he had right there. And now some pressure down on this turret as Bang, is it level 6, has that sheen, but Oki's been doing a great job of farming so far, just playing back, and hasn't really been punished for this Vayne pick at this stage.
Yeah, and we've seen games like that from him already this season as well, too, where he's not really too concerned about winning lane really hard or even winning lane at all. He just kind of sits back and farms and waits for his opportunities to clean up team fights.
Well, going even in farm in a Vayne lane is winning your lane pretty much, because you don't expect to actually leave that lane with an even amount of gold. So that's a nice little perk for him, at least at the moment. We'll see how hard Bang and Wolf want to push this. Tom again clearing out the Scuttle Crab in that bottom side. Watch now coming in. Rab, not going to go into lane just yet.
Well, we'll see if OQ and Pure try to start something. Tom is coming down as well, too, so this could end up being pretty volatile. But remember, no teleport. Well, no teleport. Don't need to worry about the top laners at the moment. Looks like Watch is going to recall. Yeah. No fight after all.
Yeah, Bang. They were waiting to see if Bang or Wolf would commit, but they're not really willing to yet because those rockets are pretty easily healed up by the Cutlass on OQ.
Yeah.
So I think it was a little much to ask to try and bait the all-in right there.
It's hard for both of these bot lane duos actually to do any sort of lasting damage to each other, but look at this, SK Telecom going for a dragon, and there's no vision for Najin right now. So Najin probably has a bit of an idea. Yeah, they found it with the Scrying Orb, but it's a bit too late. And SKT able to take this first dragon.
Yeah, nothing much they could do because the pressure has been there for SKT on mid and bottom side for most of this game.
Yep.
And if you lose control of both of the lanes like that and you're constantly shoved in, you can't expect that first dragon to go over the enemy if they are at all competent at League of Legends.
Pretty much. Controlling the dragon is what SK Telecom has definitely enjoyed doing very well over the last half of the last season and now early on in this season.
Najin also just doesn't need this dragon whatsoever. Fine without it early. They want to scale anyway and get that tankiness where the Rumble and Corki will not be so much of an issue, and if they can get onto Faker, they can just go ahead and take him out. Kind of Goong's job in this composition.
Right.
Assassinate the Cassiopeia if you can.
That is kind of the danger for SKT. Wolf taking some hits from Watch there, but that is kind of the danger for SKT in that Faker can be pretty easily bursted down by Goong or by OQ if he's isolated. Oh, charm onto Faker. Goong doing a little bit more damage, but Faker still coming out on top of that trade.
Faker's item build is very interesting. So he went tier into Merc Treads this game.
Yeah.
So what he's trying to do, and I haven't seen this, is he's using the Merc Tread tenacity in this matchup just to take less time on the charm. So he's intentionally playing aggressively and getting hit by the charm, but has the magic resistance and the tenacity to win the trades overall, to get some poison damage and win the trade via having more time to spam Twin Fangs and less time for Goong to get his trade in.
It's pretty smart.
I think it's really smart in this matchup. This is something we haven't seen Cassiopeia players do before, but you could see the logic behind it in terms of laning against this Ahri, and the results are there. He's 35 CS up at this point. Look how aggressively he can play because he's absolutely not scared of this charm. Even if it hits him, it doesn't really matter.
Yep, they've got vision as well too, so he doesn't really need to worry too much about anyone coming from the side. But yeah, Faker certainly with a big edge in this lane.
Jeez.
Yeah, wow. Anytime he hits him with the poison, those Twin Fangs are going to do so much.
Well, Goong decided not to build any magic resistance whatsoever, too, going for that Morellonomicon, wanting some more sustain in this lane instead of trying to get an Abyssal or something that we would normally see against Cassiopeia. And there's the tower going down, so Bang just keeping that minion wave fresh long enough to pick up a little bit of global gold. And see if Faker actually goes into the bottom side at this stage and lets Wolf and Bang head into the mid lane just to siege down the tower.
Might not be a bad idea. He's going over for the blue handoff right now, it looks like.
You know, obviously his item build would be awesome against this Vayne, so that may cause some problems, but...
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Faker pops that Ghost. He's going after him, or not the Ghost, rather, but a little bit of damage.
Yeah, that's just the speed buff from Cassiopeia.
Right.
But yeah, Goong has to be so careful. You can see Faker not committing to that with the flash either. Just happy with these incremental leads he's getting by repeatedly pushing Goong out of lane.
All right, well, Goong having a lot of issues, already down by 50 CS. And Faker doesn't look like he's slowing up anytime soon.
That's crazy for him to have that kind of advantage. OQ and Pure actually going to the mid lane right now just to clean up this wave while Goong takes away the blue buff. So Faker coming back, going for the Archangel staff first, so trying to increase the speed of his stacking early on. This build is rather fearless. Normally we see those Cassiopeias go tier into Abyssal Scepter and then finish up the Archangels after that, but that is not going to be the goal here. He does not care about Goong's damage. Goong, no Morellonomicon yet.
Do you think part of it, too, is that Faker wants to be ready to just do a ton of damage if he finds himself in a duel against OQ or Goong early on?
Well,
just wants to be able to keep up?
I think that would be helpful if the Seraph's Embrace gets completed, sure. Abyssal helps you out with your damage, too. I just think he wants to scale quickly here.
Oh, a bit of a dive on the Duke here. Going to twist advance over to Wolf and be able to flash away. But Faker's going to get a lot of damage done on this mid lane turret, down to about half health now. And dragging up in about a minute. So we'll see if SKT can take that one again. Looks like they are going to get this tier 1 up in top lane.
Yeah, and this is so problematic because I don't know what happened in the bottom lane between Marn and Duke early to create this big CS differential, but the solo lanes are both winning very hard for SK Telecom. And even though OQ went even, he doesn't have the wave clear to go bail out his losing lanes right now. So all of their towers just getting mercilessly chipped. And we start to see this large gold lead develop for SKT.
Yep. And Marn just starting to get some wards down. Najin wants to get a little bit of position on that. Now bangs in the mid lane. Okay, so they will just go ahead and push down this mid turret.
It's actually just going to Valk out right there.
I guess so. Maybe wanting to go back and pick up his boots or something like that before Dragon spawns.
Yeah, they're trying to set up for this Dragon fight, which is the reason for the back. But I think they could have put a little more pressure onto that mid lane turret. Well, maybe taking it out right there because they have so many wards. Look how many deep wards they had. They knew that nobody was going to be ambushing this Corki. Corki had Falcon Flash anyway, but I suppose slow and steady here. Just go for the Dragon, which is coming up. Don't leave that to chance, and then you could transition into the mid lane right afterwards.
Well, it has been SKT's kind of prerogative for a while now. Is kind of slow and steady. Wait till the late game. But this time around, they're able to probably end things a little bit sooner if things keep going the way they are. A fight over the Sculler Crab, and it looks like
Tom got it with Smite.
Okay, yeah.
Another Smite, so he's got another charge coming in. So yeah, they do retain control of the Speed Shrine, which has pretty much been SK Telecom's on the bottom side this entire game so far. Pink wards are down, but they're letting Najin get into the river right now. And they're going to lose that pink ward immediately, so Faker finally moving over.
I guess to join up with the rest of the team, teleport's available for both top laners right now. And SKT has started it, so some pushing on the mid lane from Najin. Dragon getting lower, and there's a teleport coming from Najin. They want to try to make a play here. Ult goes in a little bit early, though. Where's the follow-up? Faker not even needing to use that cleanse. Here comes Goong, though. Leaves the fight immediately. Wolf getting a nice pulverize onto Watch. Watch getting very low. Pure creating a nice big zone. Gets a kill. Gets first blood with that absolute zero. And Najin on the run now. Tom went down, but it looks like SK Telecom should be able to push him back.
Yeah, they're definitely going to push him back, and I don't think Najin can actually defend this turret right now either. Yes, they lost Tom right there. Faker tried to flash for the Petrifying Gaze, got some slows in, but they were able to peel well enough. But still no siege coming. I mean, Corki can shoot these rockets and continue to push down this turret if he wants to. Faker backing off pretty early, actually, in this fight.
Yeah, I feel like they maybe could have gotten more out of that, but deciding, again, to just play it slow and safely.
Yeah, they really chunked out Najin. I'm surprised they didn't want to fight that a little bit more aggressively and try and take the gold out of the tower as well. A little bit interesting there. Tom didn't actually smite during that. It was just taken away by Faker, who now has that fully upgraded Seraph's Embrace.
Yep. Yeah, it feels like SK Telecom just isn't too concerned about that mid lane. And they were like, well, everybody's there right now. It'd be easier to just come back later and do it.
Yeah, they do want to use that power spike, however. Faker going for a needlessly large rod next, so no hint of Abyssal Scepter here. May just want to get a death cap and maximize his damage early. Could also get that Zhonya's Hourglass to help him out a little bit against OQ.
What about Ludens for just a little bit extra mobility, too?
Ludens is excellent on Cassiopeia, so.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad second item. Anything to make Cassiopeia slither faster.
Yeah, it's just her spell spamming as well causes that Ludens to proc a whole lot.
Very true. Yeah, Faker continuing to be 50 CS up in this mid lane.
Oh, we've seen so many Cassiopeia bans, so many blue side Cassiopeia first picks, and Goong played it, but he played it against Anarchy, and he did not look great on Cassiopeia himself.
Well, it's not really his style of champion, you know? No. It's very meta right now, but Goong pretty much can only play assassins. Oh, the leash. The leash is real. Oh well, give up. Who needs that blue buff anyway? Oh man, they may lose their mid lane turret because of this. Wow. Looks like they will.
That's actually huge.
Man, so the blue buff misleash causes Najin to lose that mid lane turret. They couldn't get back in time to defend it.
Yeah, they may not have been able to get defended anyway, but they definitely couldn't when that leash went down. So it's a hard thing for Najin to deal with. More wards going in, deep for SK Telecom. Vision control for them has been on point this game.
Well, yeah, this is just leading into SKT kind of taking a cakewalk into the enemy jungle and removing all of Najin's camps from the equation here.
For SKT, this game has been incredibly smooth in terms of their map control and just their lane dominance. I mean, look at this. They've walked out to a 4,000 gold lead and completely destroyed the outer ring of turrets in a game that has a single kill at 20 minutes, and it's not even theirs. And 2 dragons.
It's too tactical for me, Monty. It's too tactical.
I like it.
I need more action. I know this is definitely your kind of game. What the team with less kills is winning because of objectives. And
I know.
Strategy.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Wow.
Can we all take a moment to appreciate how gorgeous this is?
Terrible.
Like a Da Vinci or a Van Gogh.
Yeah.
See, you're not into that? You like the Caravaggios, the ones with all the violence?
Yeah, man. Caravaggio's my favorite. How did you know? It's true. Well, I'm more about the way that he tends to use a single, very stark light source in his paintings. I've emulated that quite a bit in my own oil painting. Yeah. No, in all seriousness, he's probably one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites. I was also really into Mortal Kombat as a kid, so, you know. Plenty of severed heads in Caravaggio. Faker comes back to defend his mid lane. Just in time. Bit of help from Wolf. 60 CS up now. We'll keep you updated, don't worry.
And there's the Abyssal Scepter from Marin too. Fantastic item to help Faker out as well.
Oh yeah.
As he continues his utter dominance on Cassiopeia. Wow, I'm surprised Zikung this time. He really got rocked in the laning phase. And the wards were there for Faker to do it. Tom actually playing a more Bengi style this game of just heavily warding around mid and in the enemy jungle, so Faker could play that aggressively with those early Merc treads. And there it is, death cap completed.
It just seems like with Faker on your team in the mid lane, that's just the better way to play jungle. You know, you just need to give Faker the breathing room to do what he does best.
Yeah, and Faker really only plays one way, and that's balls to the wall aggression.
Hey, if it works, who's going to stop him?
Well, not Goon this game, I guess, is the answer.
Definitely not. Dragging up in about 25 seconds, but SK Telecom is so strong right now. I think Najin's going to have a very hard time fighting this if they want to.
Faker's in a huge power spike compared to Goon. He can just walk all over him right now. Marin, in the meantime, is just working.
Let's get a turret. Why not?
Working on that top side tower. Overheating a little bit, but he's got that TP up already. Duke is here, but he's going to have to home guard into top to deal with this tier 2 push. He's not even going to make it in time.
Wow, they're just going to take the tier 2? Yeah, Marin just takes it. And Duke will be able to push him back for now. But Marin's fine with that. He's like, all right, I just need to get out of the way so that I can teleport down and help my team take Dragon in a moment. SK Telecom already activating it. And they've got the wards, too, to see where Najin's coming from here. And Faker's just going to take apart this Dragon so fast. Here we go. Teleport coming in. SKT disengaging for now. Rockets coming in as well. Wolf blown up a little bit. Flashes away. Marin not teleporting yet. Now he comes into the bot lane. Dragon getting low. And it looks like Najin will take it. SK Telecom wants some revenge. The equalizer not actually slowing down too many people on Najin. So despite the strength for SK Telecom, Najin actually making it out of that one. And it looks like they want to try to push this mid lane. This may be a bit brave, but hey, without the ults to worry about, why not?
Well, that's a really weird timing from Marin right there. He was very late to that fight, even though Watch missed his ultimate and only got the slow. Because Marin wasn't there for the counter engage, they still actually managed to deal a lot of damage to Wolf, who had to flash out after using his ultimate. So really, it was a poor teleport and then a terrible equalizer from Marin.
It was a very uncharacteristic fight for Marin. Usually you don't see that.
Yeah, I wonder what happened up there. I have to take a look at the replay to see why exactly he was late, because he was pushing down that tier 2. And considering Duke's teleport timing, it looked like he was just waiting for the recall so he could go back and buy before he came in. But he didn't need to buy to take advantage of the edge that was handed to them already by Najin. So a bit of a misplay from SKT. And we see that Aegis, as our observers pointed out, finished right now. So that's going to make Goong's life even harder while he struggles to get his death cap.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like Goong is going to be in a position to really blow anybody up this game unless he can get back onto Bang, rather.
Well, even Bang is going to have a Blade of the Ruined King soon, so he'll have that active at least to help him out.
Yep. So it's really on OQ, you know? OQ needs to find opportunities and fights to really carry this team.
Yep, there's the Blade done right now. He's already got that Aegis from Tom.
Yeah.
But SKT, the Dragon going to Najin is obviously quite good for Najin because they're stalling out this game. Now, I'm not sure that even this Blood Boiled Vein is going to be able to do more than...
Oh, Marin having used that equalizer, getting caught by OQ, flashing away. Duke's going to jump right on him. Marin getting OQ very, very low. OQ barely making it through that fight, but SK Telecom taking Baron in the meantime. Watch knows, but Wolf just shoves him away. Baron taken by SK Telecom.
Yeah,
so
you
Marin
can't
giving his life for that one.
You can't commit on the bottom side of the map to that degree without teleport with your AD carry, who's the only person on your team doing damage because of how far behind Goong is, against SKT, who has a Cassiopeia and a Blade of the Ruined King on their AD carry already, because that Baron is just going to melt like we saw.
Now, that said, Najin does manage to take a tier 1 and bot lane out of it, so able to get a little bit of something.
As
but now, you know, who's
their
there?
tier 2 in mid?
Yeah, who's there to take the... Who's there to defend this? Nobody, really. Barely survives for now.
Well, they're worried about Goong's flank right here. They've got the wards to give him the heads up. Misses the charm, actually, as Tom emerges from the tunnel.
Seemed pretty close, but didn't quite connect. Yeah, now Marin all the way down in bot lane again. Pushing things up, so not able to teleport up to help SK Telecom if they need him. Now moving over. So Najin not quite dead yet.
Not quite dead yet.
Nope.
The Najin motto.
Oh, Goong though. Barely escaping, has to use that ultimate to get away from Bang. Wow, Bang actually doing a lot of damage with those rockets, and that's going to be a dead tier 2 now. So another trade for a tier 1.
Najin sent 4 people topside and had to recall right there. They do lose the tower. Now they may not have been able to get that one anyway, or to save it rather. So they trade 1 for 1, but tier 2 for tier 1. Now SK Telecom looking to move this minion wave closer to the last tier 2 standing for Najin EM Fire.
Yeah, and the more they can do that too, the easier it's going to be to take this dragon as well, and even things up in that regard.
I'm surprised that SK Telecom has been so passive this game with the advantage that they have. They're playing this really safely.
Yeah. Well, I think they've seen what, you know, Goong and OQ have done to other teams, and they just don't want that to be them.
Well, but letting OQ get a billion farm is a good way to let it happen to you. So OQ's 1-0-1, and he's managed to stay alive and keep on farming. He has fallen behind in terms of CS now, but for the most part in that early game did keep pace with Bang. And is Najin actually going to fight over this next dragon?
Well, might be tough if they do. Faker picked up his Void Staff, so he's going to be doing damage now.
Yeah, Faker's completely ridiculous at this point in time.
Yeah. 675 AP already. And meanwhile, Marin's got his Zonias. Tom has his Locket of the Iron Solari, so they've got that MR as well, too. So yeah, SKT is really in, again, you know, prime position for a team fight here, but we'll see if Najin gives it to them.
Yep, just pushing forward, making sure they have pressure for when this dragon starts. Ward's already set up by SKT.
Right. Najin's done, I feel like, a pretty good job of being evasive this game. Teleport coming in, though, for Marin. Najin, though, yep, knowing when to back off. They're not going to give him a chance to use Equalizer over the wall or anything like that.
Sidewave's already set up for SK Telecom as well, so Najin has a lot on their plate to deal with.
Yeah, they may have to just give this dragon up. We'll see if maybe they want to rush a tier 2 or something. Dragon getting taken by SK Telecom right now. And Wolf on the side to kind of zone a little bit. SKT gets it. They're going to turn onto Najin. Not able to quite catch anybody, it looks like. Martin still has an equalizer. Here we go. Coming in now. Can they catch him? Get the headbutt pulverized. Great equalizer as Najin tries to escape into the jungle. Duke going deep now, trying to escape and banging a lot of hits from the outside. Absolute Zero does a little bit of work, but Pure taken down as well. It's Najin's or SKT's first kill of the game. And number 2 comes in as Faker takes down Duke. And SKT, whoa, Faker flashing over the wall. Wants that kill onto OQ. Wolf coming in with the headbutt, the pulverize, the double kill for Faker. And SKT coming alive now in 30 minutes.
Faker has such smooth Cassiopeia mechanics in these team fights. And that is SK Telecom. Somehow had an 8,000 gold lead with 0 kills. Doesn't even get a kill until after 30 minutes into this game.
It's crazy,
and still just crushes Najin.
Wow, Goong just can't even escape his own base. Tom taking apart this inhibitor, and if he can't finish it off, the rest of SKT should be able to. Watch and Pure maybe in a little bit of trouble as they get knocked up. SKT finally taking that inhibitor, and they'll just back off. Successful. And that's what SKT was waiting for. They finally got the fight. They finally were able to beat Najin.
Yeah, great save on the equalizer. Much better equalizer from Marin this time around as he catches them all in the choke. And as soon as everybody's taking poison from Faker in there, easy to track people down. Faker even flashing over the wall.
That was just perfect though. SKT, you know, I mean, Cowboy Alistar herding Najin into that little choke, getting him ready for that equalizer. That's right. Really couldn't have been much better.
Herding them to the slaughter.
Yep, that's right. They were like cows to the slaughter.
Yeah,
look at that, just pushing them all in there.
It's such a good equalizer. OQ tumbles off of it. And there we have the ult from Watch, but it doesn't buy them enough time right there. Bang. Just going to QSS out of it, and remember that Faker has cleanse as well. So here he comes, getting the poison down, getting that little bit of speed, and then hitting all those twin fangs to finish it off. And this flash right here over the wall with the petrifying gaze forces a flash out of OQ, forces that condemn, but doesn't actually get the stun.
Wow.
And Wolf coming from the flank knocks him into the wall for the Alistar combo and the finisher on the twin fangs.
Yep, Faker with another needlessly large rod on top of everything else now, so the damage is pretty immense. And look at this, they're going to try to catch Wolf here. Wolf backing away with Faker. Bang is there as well, too, to fire those rockets into the choke. Faker has his ult up. This could be bad. Najin needs to be careful here. Faker turning around, waiting for an opportunity. There, uses the ult, freezes quite a few. An equalizer comes in as well. Faker unafraid of that absolute zero as Najin chase away again. There's the double kill. Will he get more? Marin picks one up. Man, Faker just waited, and again, Najin finds himself in a choke with that Cassiopeia ult and the Rumble ult too. Does not work well.
And Faker waited so long on that petrifying gaze, actually waiting until Wolf went down to find the right time to use it. Watch.
It really was perfect.
Picked the wrong bush to recall from, and now that corresponds with Baron coming right back up. So Najin did what they could. They had to make a pick before that Baron started. Their only way to get back into the game was to get a pick before Baron, take Baron, and try and rush the Nexus. Not going to happen.
That Baron could not have come up in a more perfect time for SKT. Yep. Man, that Cassiopeia ultimate, we knew it was coming. Everyone's just like, all right, wait for it, wait for it.
Wait for it.
Yep.
There it was. There is Wolf.
Pretty perfect.
Buffing minions. Tom now void rushing into the bottom jungle. Not going to be able to get down to that minion wave with the Vayne there. Doesn't want to risk it. Pure also giving OQ some vision to make sure that he doesn't get ambushed by anyone. And now this should just about wrap this one up.
I would say so. I think it's going to be very difficult for Najin to fight this. Bang coming in, just decides to jump right onto Goong. Whoa, Wolf comes in with the headbutt pulverized.
Wow, it knocked him out of the Spirit Rush there.
Yeah.
For Bang to finish. Bang just so strong he's able to 1v1 the Ahri right now. That is not a good sign for Najin.
Not so much. And I think all signs point to SK Telecom taking a pretty smooth game one here. They've got that Baron buff. They have minimal resistance from Najin coming in. Duke trying to defend as best he can, but SKT, we'll see if they can push for the win right here. Those knockups say they probably can. Another nice equalizer for Marin. Gets OQ. There's the exhaust on him as well as he gets pushed back into his own base. A double kill for Bang at the end of all things. And there goes Nexus turret number 2 with Watch gone, with Pure gone, and OQ undefended. That is going to be game one going to SK Telecom. GG.
What a stifling performance. Just because there are still obviously a lot of options for Najin up against that Gnar. And they left the Nautilus up this time too, which Najin almost certainly will pick in their first round of the draft on the red side.
Yeah.
We've seen that from them last week, and because it's a flex pick for them, it's a great pick for the red side in general.
So first pick Sejuani for SK Telecom, wanting to keep that away from Watch. So they've taken away Gragas and Sejuani from Watch, and that could cause some problems for Najin. Watch hovering over one of his favorite junglers, Nocturne. We used to see so many Nocturne games from Watch back in the day.
Yeah, but not...
Same with Elise.
Same with Elise. I think Rek'Sai and Thresh are the safer pickups right now, so it won't be the Nautilus priority this week.
You know, interestingly enough, I never thought I'd really be saying this, but Varus is open for SK Telecom. He was banned against him in game number 1. So if SKT wants to play that champion that is apparently ban-worthy, they have a chance.
Well, if it's a mid lane one, though, you don't really have to ban it on them on blue side, because Varus is only useful in certain matchups. So you don't want to put something with that low amount of mobility unless you can counter pick with it on the red side.
You want it to be a last pick. I see.
Yeah, typically speaking.
Let's see. Now, Wolf actually has one of his highest win rates on Janna this season. I believe he only has 1 loss ever. I was looking at stats today, professionally.
Yeah, Janna Lucian, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Lulu for Faker this game.
Yeah.
They have so much protection for this Lucian already. They love to play these pick compositions.
Yep, makes sense.
Around the Lucian, and especially because they're on blue side and they're going to have to blind pick their mid laner. Just go for something that's going to have a large chance of not being assassinated by something from Goong's champion pool here, Gnar and Jinx, another late game setup for Najin Empire.
We're kind of laughing, but is it safe? Is it safe to go with this Jinx against a team like SKT? Apparently they think it is.
Yeah, they have a really strong lane. That Jinx Thresh lane has always been incredibly powerful.
Yeah, but then you have to think, well, OQ is no depth.
Well, OQ possesses some of the best laning in this league, so if anybody can pull it off with a Rek'Sai in the jungle for a gank, it's going to be OQ and Pure. So I think that he'll be just fine on that champion. And now, SK Telecom thinking about what they can run with here. Remember last week they did go with Ezreal, another very safe blind pick in the mid lane. With that escape and also the ability to affect the map and control the minion waves and the poke power. So they could go with Nunu Ezreal here.
Yeah, that would seem
no, they already have a jungler, so the Nunu would be
top Sejuani. Top Sejuani. We've talked about this.
But they could go with the Ezreal. They could blind pick the Varus for Faker
Do
with
it.
the Nunu.
Yes, I believe it has been locked in.
All right.
Wow. You know, the thing is, though, to be completely fair, yeah, it's probably mid lane Varus, but could be mid lane Lucian.
I just have questions, such as, what happens if he picks Zed right now?
Oh, come on, Goong. Never play. That guy never plays Zed. I don't ever think he's ever had a good game on Zed. Certainly not Goong.
Just Varus with his poke, yeah, he's great against champions like Kassadin that have to come up to melee the wave and don't have good mobility early, but Varus is a champion that can get all in very effectively, or you can just do that.
Yeah,
which is match poke for poke. That's also a legitimate option. Goong has never been a good Yasuo player, though.
Yeah, and does Windwall block a hail of arrows? That's what I'm wondering. I suppose Lulu would be better.
Yeah, Lulu's a very safe choice. You can whimsy your way out of those difficult situations. You've got a shield.
Yep.
You have poke of your own. So I don't really know about this Varus pick under these circumstances. I think it was smart of players like Power of Evil to pick it as a lane counter pick, but to blind pick it, bold.
Things Faker does.
Yeah, thinks Faker does. I think this is his first professional game on Varus. I will double check that real quick.
I would be surprised if it wasn't.
I would also be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, either way, we're about to see Faker play Varus in the mid lane.
Bully, because he has so much sustain via that consume, and he just constantly snowballs you and makes your life a living hell. So very passive pickup, but this should be a fun double AD composition. However, no AP damage late game at all. So Najin can itemize very efficiently, and if they can make the late game, they really shouldn't have too much of a problem just rolling over SK Telecom.
Yep.
So it's all about the mid-game siege for SKT.
Well, and here we come to Summoner's Rift, SK Telecom versus Najin the Empire.
I can officially confirm that this is Faker's first ever game professionally playing Varus. And it was banned.
Hey, it's a nice drawing of SKT. That's like if SKT were those, like, you know, kids' toys. They're kind of like Legos, but they're a little bit bigger so they don't choke on them. That's like the SK Telecom version. Duplo blocks, that's what it was, yeah. When I was a kid, see, I had the Legos, but my younger siblings, they had Duplo.
I see.
Yep, that's right. Those noobs. Get on my level, Duplo users.
they actually were noobs to being alive, so I guess that's fair.
Life noobs. Well, Faker and his kind of oily demon pants are going to see if they can take out Najin. Varus's, I'm not going to lie, Varus's pants have always disturbed me.
Well, I mean, his arm is turned into a bow. I don't really know how he does anything useful, because it's not like just not having an arm. You actually have this giant crossbar in the way of everything you do.
Like, how do you sleep without rolling over on that? That would be, like, really uncomfortable, man. Well, instant pull-up bar, though. You just find anything, you just put it up there between them, use the other hand, just work out, man. That's why he's so cut.
The one-handed pull-up?
All those pull-ups, yeah.
Damn.
I know. Pretty impressive. But of course, really, when you think about it, the only article of clothing Varus is wearing is like that scarf.
Yeah. Disturbing.
Yeah. I know, right?
It's a headband, I think.
Is it?
I think it's a headband.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's a headband, yeah.
He's got to look cool, not stay warm. He's already naked.
I guess so. His demon pants keep him warm, Monty. Don't worry. Do you know the story of Varus?
I don't.
He was guarding this thing, and then a bad army came to his village to get the thing, and they were killing all stuff, so he took the thing, and he defended his village, but in the process became corrupted by it. And it was a bow, I guess. I guess that's what the thing was.
Sounds about the quality of writing that I expect from Riot Games.
And so then he went to the League of Legends. Which is just
where there totally aren't summoners anymore.
Completely
and no one knows why anyone is fighting any longer.
It's a great mystery. Now it turns into one of those like animes about fighting where at one point one of the characters inevitably yells, "What are we fighting for?" Mostly happens in Gundam, I believe.
It's the pointless violence that takes place in Summoner's Rift.
Right, like this one, man. Top lane.
What an unenlightened world Runeterra is.
Apparently. Except for Piltover, they're very enlightened, but only in a book sense. They don't really have the street smarts going for them. Duke's going to recall here. Pick up some stuff already out of pots. And watch. Looking for an opportunity here onto Faker. Doesn't find it, though.
Yeah, well, Faker has healed this game, and we know that SK Telecom likes to run double AD compositions, but I really prefer it when they run it with something like Rumble in the top side, instead of all-inning on all this attack damage. They do have so many ways to buff with the Blood Boil and with the Eye of the Storm from Janna, but even so, the Thorn Mail is going to be ridiculously effective against SK Telecom. I mean, absurdly effective. So, again, with this composition, you have to strike early, or you lose. Basically, the siege has to work, and Najin should have enough wave clear that I'm not entirely confident that it is going to work here.
We'll see. Wolf with the Fnatic Janna skin After MSI, I guess he wants to channel a little bit of the power of Yellow Star into his play.
He's got to get some roaming on then.
Yep. You can do that on Janna. Wolf has done that on Janna.
Yes.
Many times. Well, so far though, a couple little gank attempts here and there, but mostly farming, and Faker already jumping out to a little bit of a CS lead over Goong. Yep, just eat it. Eat it all, Marin.
Marin just being as annoying as possible right there. You can see this CS differential. This is what Nunu does to a lane. He is useless late game. Nunu's a champion that will do nothing at 6 items. Like, nothing at all besides buff 80 carries, which fortunately SKT has 2 of, but he will deny the other top laner from being very useful just to being a massive bully laner.
I see you're unfamiliar with full AP ARAM Nunu, Monty. He does quite a bit.
Yeah, his one spell that does damage is truly awesome.
Yep, sure is. Hey, his snowball does a respectable amount if you go full AP.
That's what I was referring to, was his snowball.
Oh, well, his ult does a lot too. That's 2 spells.
Yeah, I think it's be pretty unlikely for him to get a full channel ultimate off with all that crowd control on Najin.
Probably not. It's true.
So he only, in this case, has 1 spell that does damage. Will be funny to see. Someday, perhaps, we will see Marin build full AP.
Yeah, well, you know, we said they need some AP damage. Why not now?
Get Rod of Ages. Go for it.
That's right.
Go for it, Marin. I believe in you.
Rod of Ages into Death Cap. Standard.
I'd like to see Luden's Echo just so
yeah,
that snowball just ripples out.
Proc off the snowballs. Because that's the only spell you can use Luden's with on Nunu. Oh, Faker. Going way up on the Goong, but really kind of paying for it, taking a lot of damage. Oops. That was maybe a little bit overeager. But Faker just really trying to dominate this lane like he did before, and it's not working quite as well this time. Meanwhile, Watch goes for this early dragon, but Tom, I think, is going to scout this out.
Oh, this is so dangerous. Dragon's a lot more powerful than it was previously.
No.
He's not going to see it quite yet, but
yeah, Watch can't kill it.
But
did he not
he
get
saw
the
it with
notes?
the tremor sense, I believe.
Possibly, but
he may have gone under. He may have gone under just to heal right there and then backed off after seeing Tom with the tremor sense. We didn't have the camera on Watch right there.
Could be. Either way, yeah. Pretty tough to take the dragon that early post changes. We are on 5.9 now. So that dragon is a bit more powerful.
Still, yeah, that's still a really hard dragon to get early on.
Yeah. That Watch doesn't seem to be slowed down too much by it, though.
All right, well, early blue buff, well, not early blue buff, second blue buff, I just should say, being handed off right here to Goong. So this will continue some pressure on that lane. Not really sure what Faker's plan is here. Obviously, he's going to go for that Muramana first, and then move to armor penetration from there and just be a poking machine.
Yep.
As you are with Varus. It's a little bit of damage right there to Goong, but Goong's shields do make this lane just a little more difficult to deal with.
Yeah, all in all, it's going to be pretty annoying for SKT to do the same thing they did last game. They're simply not going to be able to do the same thing they did last game, I'd imagine. But so the question is, for me, I mean, when does Marin start to leave this lane? When does he start to kind of move around the map and help his team try to take objectives?
That's a great question. I mean, he does have that CS lead, but it comes down to the item breakpoints too. Bang has to, it's about power spikes with this composition. If your grouping and sieging doesn't work, and you don't take towers quickly, as soon as you hit 1 or 2 items,
Whoa.
then you're just going to lose the game.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not a big fan of what SK Telecom is doing. I feel that it's pretty risky, but it'll be funny to watch and see if they can actually pull it off.
They'll get style points at any rate. And it's always fun to see Faker on a new champion. He always manages to do things you didn't think were possible on said champion. He's got this habit. So we'll see. I mean, Varus doesn't seem like a very flashy champion, you know, when you think about it. But you just never know what this guy's going to do.
the arrow skill shots. His ult's hard to hit at least, so maybe he'll have a nice one of those.
It's not as hard to hit as it used to be. They increased the missile width a couple patches ago.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't play AD carry a lot, but actually Varus is one of the ones I play more than others because he's pretty easy. That's right. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend that I think he's really cool or something. I just think he's easy. That's all. I play Caitlyn and Varus.
Yep.
That's it.
Smart.
Sometimes Graves.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Got it. If I have to play ADC, it's a plan. Yep. Oh, Jinx too. Just walk up and attack stuff.
Occasionally just panic, shoot some traps out.
Yep, that's right.
So Marin and Duke involved in the annoying Nunu conflict where he gets a free heal from his consume and then his free spell, so he just autos a bunch of stuff constantly and then walks up and snowballs you like a jerk. Yep,
and he's been able to jerk his way up to a 20 CS lead.
Let's not put it that way.
Be a jerk.
let's not say it like that, though.
Sure. Hey man, I don't know where your mind's at right now. I'm just trying to make things interesting, you know?
Well, you definitely are. Mission successful.
Mission accomplished. Break out the banner. This lane is wonderful. Yep, that's really annoying. It's not the most fun to watch either.
I wonder if he's going to go for Righteous Glory.
Oh, here we go. Ult on Nagoon. He is not making it out. First blood goes to Tom. Only because Faker couldn't fire his arrows fast enough.
Wow, Tom didn't even have to flash for that, so I'm really curious how he got that far into lane to use that ability.
Oh, kidding. It seemed like he just sort of walked up. Weirdly enough.
Gonna take a bunch of damage right there. OQ going for a pretty greedy build here, but not too much damage on his turret yet. Avarice Blade will be the choice. Needs that gold.
Ooh. Nice dodge from Bang. Oh, knock up onto Pure. So the poking really starting to intensify for SKT. They've got that pressure down in bot lane, and Faker able to get a decent amount of damage on that mid lane turret now. With
yeah,
Varus.
he has to, though, is the thing. He absolutely has to.
Whoa,
Marin is going to get tossed back into the tower right there.
Wow,
no, that's a lot of turret shots, actually. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Marin. Flash. Oh, man. And Duke gets a 1v1. You know, Nunu, surprisingly, not the best duelist in the top lane.
He's going for Rod of Ages.
Wow, he is. He's actually doing it. He's doing the AP Nunu.
Okay, well.
Nice, I like it, I like it.
He'll go Rod of Ages into tank, but
sure.
I mean, Righteous Glory would have been pretty silly with that catalyst as well.
Well, what else do you build on a top Nunu, you know?
I don't know.
Teleporting back in the
Frozen
lane.
Heart is really good on Nunu.
True, true.
Here comes Goong.
Coming down, yep, but Bang & Wolf already on the disengage, so they won't have any issues with that. Faker picked up a Brutalizer before he picked up his pickaxe, so just doing a little bit more damage there. Giant arrow. Oh. Giant disappointment.
Goong just playing back right here. I really would like to know how that gank in mid lane happened, but
I think we saw it, man. He just walked up and hit him with his ult.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if Faker landed his ult first, actually.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You're probably right, actually. That makes a lot of sense when you think about what Varus' ult does.
All right, so SK Telecom going to go for their first dragon right here. Just
taking it very fast.
Yep.
Easy.
Early dragon shouldn't be a problem at all. Marin actually wandering down from the top side. As Duke just continues to farm out this lane. That kill was absolutely huge for Duke right here.
Yep, top lane Nunu. Really the MVP so far of this game. He just ate one of those wolves in one bite. That was amazing. Oh, hi.
Throw a house at Marin while he comes back and eats a cannon minion.
Yep. Well.
So that CS lead dwindled a little bit as a result of that kill too. So about 1,000 gold lead for SK Telecom right now. Not anything that Najin has to worry about. And it's about the next about 10 minutes of this game to see whether SK Telecom is actually going to be able to feasibly win this game or not, because they're going to need a large gold lead.
Yeah, they're on their way, but just barely at this point. on their way in that they have a lead at all. But Faker might be able to just kill the turret right here.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. If he can get the turret on this wave, that's going to free up a lot.
He probably could have, but that would have been a little bit of an overcommitment with Pure nearby.
Yeah, he had a ward right there, so he knew Pure was coming in. But that's going to buy perhaps enough time. We'll see what he actually gets.
Tom coming in, and Duke just hops his way out of that one. Oh, nice arrow.
Not too much to be gained right there. Goong now has to play more aggressively on this minion wave to prevent it from hitting the turret, and for Faker to get the 1 or 2 auto attacks that it will take to eliminate that tower.
Probably is just like 1 at this point.
Yeah, they're very, very close.
You know, I feel like Varus can drop that bow. I don't think it's actually part of his hand.
I have no idea.
I'd have to double check. I'm not 100% sure, but I'd have to reread the lore, you know?
Oh wow, nice
on
hook.
The bang, yeah, Pure. Oh, the Flay dodged with the flash, though, and Pure uses that box and doesn't hit anybody. A lot of damage onto him from the culling. Still via bang.
Got the flash out with just the death sentence right there. Did burn the ignite, but
got the flash from Wolf as well.
Yeah, very nicely done. On that hook on the dash from Bang. Around the mid lane because they need to keep Faker back at this point. They're desperately trying to clear out some of these vision wards so that Faker can't actually continue to push up as aggressively. They've saved that turret for a surprisingly long time now, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been a lot of focus, but what happens when that focus has to inevitably shift somewhere else, you know? I mean, this lane and bot lane is going to be pushing forward at some point. Everyone's standing on a ward now. That doesn't help.
You can see right there, Duke is just building pretty much only magic resistance at this point, which could be a problem considering that everyone is actually going to be dealing damage.
That is kind of an odd commitment to magic resistance.
The Merc Tread and the Cowl doesn't surprise me. The additional Negatron Cloak on top of that surprises me.
Because you wonder what he's going to build out of that, you know? Or if he's just going to sell him a little bit. We'll see. A lot of action down in the bot lane. Looks like Najin may be able to actually claim the first turret of the game. They do. They will. That's
huge that they get the first tower right here.
Yeah.
And they got it off of that play from Pure, dealing enough damage and scaring SK Telecom enough to recall so that this Jinx could get some time with the tower in minigun form alone. So that's going to be very useful. Now, will they sacrifice mid for it?
Whoa. Oh, if Faker had hit that, man, that would have been a dead Lulu. Either way, it's a dead turret, and that's still a dead Lulu, maybe. Wild Growth having to be used to keep Goong alive.
That's such a good trade for Najin, though. Trading 1 for 1 at this stage of the game is huge, especially on a tower that was pretty much guaranteed dead anyway. To take one away from SK Telecom that was still pretty far up there in health is really, really nice.
Right. And now they're going to shift that bottom lane to the top, and OQ and Pure can start working on this Nunu lane. Oh, bring in OQ. Can he grab him? They get the flash, actually, out of Marin.
Yeah, has to be used right there just because of the aggressive play. And now they're going to maybe get another turret right now. Lucian's already there, so we'll be able to clear it out. But Marin's going to get a long lane to farm up in, get even tankier.
Yeah.
He's going for a Hex Drinker actually next.
Wow. Because why not?
Well, what Najin's trying to do is just elongate this laning phase if they can.
Oh, there we go. Faker with the ult on to Goong. Can he win the 1v1? Faker whimsied, taking a lot of damage. There's a Wild Growth. Goong's got this one. And Goong wins a 1v1 against Faker.
I mean, he has Ignite.
Yeah,
so
he does.
Faker way too far up right there, deciding not to use the flash. Had the heal, but that's it. And this is all coming undone right now. The power spike for SK Telecom is rapidly waning. They've traded evenly during this period and even found themselves a bit behind as Watch, Pure, and OQ roll through the topside river.
Well, Lulu
and
is...
what they're trying to do right here, as we take a look at this 1v1 again. So Faker hits Goong, but he gets immediately turned into a little kitten. And then Goong just walks up and Wild Growths and kills him. So that actually wasn't very exciting.
Well, Lulu is a pretty good matchup against Varus, so that's not the biggest
it's a solid pick.
Yeah.
This is why picking the Varus early is somewhat dangerous.
Yeah.
So, in terms of Duke's itemization, if we look at the Home Guard and the Hex Drinker, what they really just want to do right now is continue to punish this Nunu and have Gnar push the Nunu up repeatedly. And then that way, SK Telecom can't group with the Nunu and the Blood Boil doesn't get onto their 80 carries, meaning the Nunu does absolutely nothing in this game. So Duke's going to return to the top side because Dragon is live and push up on that tier 1. And then they'll probably go back just to right, having him in the Nunu lane one more time.
Faker just trying to poke out Najin as much as he can before going back into the mid lane. But SKT may need to give this one up.
They need to make something happen. Now they have the poke to poke them off the Dragon. SKT probably should get this Dragon.
Well, the Varus ult is really good if Faker can land it too.
Yes. This early in the game, Najin probably shouldn't be able to contest this very effectively.
It's just all the shields, like everything Najin has is so good against this Varus.
But Faker has so much mana right now with that stacked up tier, and you can see Lucian just pushing the tier 2 in the mid lane while they keep on poking. And the culling can come in as well. Najin, risky. Duke says he's in a good place with his Gnar bar though.
Yeah, that's right. He'll become Mega Gnar in just a moment here. A little bit of poke coming in for Faker. Can Tom steal this Dragon? Yes, he can. He gets it. Pure going very low as well. Now Faker getting a huge ult onto the enemy team. A big ult comes in from Tom as well. And SKT finds exactly the fight they were looking for. OQ over the wall comes bang for another one. Faker gets the kill anyway. And now Duke and Pure Goong as well in a lot of trouble under turret. Faker poking so hard with those arrows. Gets grabbed though. Everybody all in onto Faker, but Bang gets the kill anyway. Faker's still getting away. Goong taken down by Wolf. A bit of bloodthirsty support action there. And Duke the last man standing, but perhaps not for long. We'll see if he can get himself executed on a turret. Nope. Nope, not going to happen. Oh, right into Wolf. Come on. Double kill for the support. Feels so good. Yeah. There we go. So in the end, SK Telecom aces Najin, and they get the Dragon. They get 5 kills out of it. SKT find a way.
Now they got their 4K lead that they needed because Najin decided to fight a second Dragon that they absolutely did not have to go for. And if you look right here, they're fighting right in SK Telecom's power spike. They had done such a good job of getting rid of it before. Faker hits a really nice Varus ultimate. But look at the poke coming in. These 280 carries just melt through. Remember, Duke has no armor right now. There's no way that they can actually contest against 2 blood-boiled 80 carries at this phase of the game. They just needed to extend the laning phase. Really poor Dragon Call, but you can see how powerful this composition is in the power spike that they've got.
Nice flash from Faker at the end to keep himself alive.
Yeah, they just absolutely murdered Najin.
Yep. More action going on right now. They caught Tom for the moment. Faker threw out his ult. That's hard to say. I'm never using that sentence again. Oh, Tom gets grabbed. Makes it away though. Oh. Good thing Sejuani is a tanky boar.
Well, now, with all of the armor penetration that SK Telecom has on Faker, they should just be able to push up right here, keep on moving through these towers, as they've had that opportunity to grow.
Wow, that's a crit.
Well, Duke has no armor. Duke has a cloth armor right now. What the hell is he going to do?
That arrow wasn't even charged for very long, so that means that Faker could be doing even more right now. Yeah, Varus is fun once you get a lot of damage on him. Wow, yeah. Nidalee Spear 2.0 potentially.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just astonishing to me that Najin would accept that fight. It was only going to be SKT's second Dragon.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that was like the only way that SKT could really come back.
Yes, Najin had done so well.
Yeah.
And they could have just traded for the tier 1 and top side as well. Just kept Gnar up there.
Well, Baron started by SKT as Faker takes down the top lane turret and just keeps pushing. Here comes Najin, though. They're going to need Faker to come back here. They disengage. Duke about to become Mega Gnar. So SKT trying with a Baron opportunity, but no, not with that Mega Gnar around.
Yeah, now Najin is going to group his 5 in the mid lane, try and take something in return for that top lane tower, but they are so far behind in gold now after that fight.
Well, they just need to worry about getting Varus ulted as well here, too. Culling clears out that wave. That turret still has more than half of its health remaining. And here comes Faker with the Yomu's Ghost Blade, actually. Build that passive up, man. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, might as well use that extra brutalizer for something.
I was going to say, yeah.
Now that it doesn't turn into the Black Cleaver any longer.
Yep.
So he'll be able to take down turrets really quickly with that.
Yes, he will. Wow. Well, Faker certainly has shown us the poking and teamfight utility that Varus offers.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's a bad pick in certain matchups. It's just Najin completely messed up this game, and SK Telecom took precisely the fight they should have.
Yep. Just kind of waiting for it. Wolf just going to clear out another ward in the Baron bit. They've got the pink there.
Well, Watch finally has some armor. Going for the Randuin's Omen now, and Duke finishing up his Warden's Veil, but with Faker already with the last Whisper and Bang going to complete it imminently, they're just ahead of the curve on armor penetration versus armor.
Yeah, very true. Now, if Najin can somehow stall things out until like the ultra late game.
Oh yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, they do okay. Fine. But right now, SKT just with a huge threat. I mean, they can bait this Baron all day because they know they can win team fights. Najin might try this here, though. Baron going down very, very quickly. Faker just zoning with that hail of arrows. A lot of damage onto Pure. Watch comes in. Baron's still a bit low. Watch takes the Lantern out again. Ult gets used. Doesn't really connect too much with anybody. Baron taken by SKT. And do they pursue for the fight? There's the culling. They get the kill onto Duke. And I think SKT can be pretty satisfied with just that.
Yeah, that was actually a very well done Baron by SK Telecom.
Yeah.
Great timing on Tom's ultimate to keep Rek'Sai over the wall after the Lantern was backing out, making sure that Watch couldn't flash it and try and smite it.
Yep. And this poke from SKT, combined with the Baron buff, there's just no stopping them now. Not for the next couple minutes anyway. And Marin, you know, while he's not going to do any damage, he is tanky enough to sit in there and take some hits at least, as they take out this first inhibitor. Wow, OQ just gets really low from another Varus arrow.
Yeah. SK Telecom just nailing their aggression while they have the opportunity and going ahead and snowballing this game with the early Baron take.
And a third dragon now, too. Completely unopposed. And it's got to feel bad if you're Najin. You had the game right where you wanted it, and then you just gave it away.
They were in such a good space.
Yep.
Less than 1,000 gold deficit in some harder lanes.
They should have known that the only good space is on CJ right now. That was their first mistake, Monty.
Jeez.
Couldn't resist.
Yeah, they traded the tower as well. I mean, it was all looking so good.
And so maybe after this game we can say competitively, professionally, Faker is undefeated on Varus.
That's something we're almost certainly going to be able to say at this point.
Yep.
Given the 9,000 gold lead and the Baron that they have.
Helps quite a bit.
As well as just such a powerful siege composition.
Yeah.
And how does Najin engage here? They really can't. They don't have great flanking champions. They have to basically, Duke has to teleport.
Well, the big part of it, too, is that they kept both Gragas and Sejuani away from Watch. You know, this Rek'Sai can make picks, but it's just not as great at doing what the other champions could do for Najin in a team fight.
Well, they also took away, if you'll notice, they took away the two hard engaged junglers to run this. They took Gragas and Sejuani away.
Yep.
So at this point, Rek'Sai doesn't have that same engage potential. Neither does a champion, obviously, like Nunu, which was also taken in the end.
And another turret just easily taken by SK Telecom. Najin cannot really defend this. Yep, we'll see if there's any sort of desperation fight. Pushback for now as a minion wave gets a little bit low. Wow, man, Faker's just doing so much damage now. Man, it is Nidalee Spear 2.0. That's what happens when Varus gets to this level.
It is like watching Faker play Nidalee.
Yeah, it is. And he's so accurate with these two, obviously, like any good Varus would be. And the second inhibitor taking a lot of damage. These arrows, there's just nothing Najin can do against it.
He said his last 4 in a row.
Arrowed.
Definitely arrowed.
Yep. Oh, so you had to say it. You had to say it, so you had to miss one. You slow people with the hail of arrows, and then you can hit them pretty easily, too. But no, take a big chunk out of Pure instead. SKT just sort of having a bit of a vacation. And now there we go, the ultimate onto Pure. Faker going to be able to maybe get a kill there. Wildgirl saves him, but Tom comes in with the big Sejuani ult. And now SKT, they've got the ults. They've got the double kill onto Varus, and they've got everything he needs. Make that a triple kill. Wow. Duke just barely living through that one, and that is it. A 2-0 for SK Telecom, and Faker bringing the Varus in the mid lane and bringing the pain. That is it. GG.
That last team fight was so beautifully played. And one thing you can say about SK Telecom and Jungle Hecarim, with the changes made to Rampage on 5.9, that is more viable than it used to be.
That's true. The clear is a little bit better on his Q now.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Yeah. Huh. What are we going to see? I'd love to see Mickey play Orianna, actually. That'd be a fun champion to watch. But they might just default back to that Vladimir again, it looks like. Unless they go with the Lulu. They will? Okay. So the Lulu, a bit of a flex pick, obviously. Don't know where that one's going to go just yet.
Yeah, I imagine they're going to take the Thresh with the Jinx, though, when they lock it in and just play a comp that revolves around Jinx, protecting that Jinx.
Makes sense.
With as big of shield and whimsy as possible, especially since there's that Gragas to get the single targets set up to have Jinx reset. Now, we could see our first Ashe in Korea. We did see Fnatic play Ashe earlier today in their
last
match.
night for Europe.
Yes, last night for Europe, early in the morning.
I'd love to see Ashe. I think new Ashe is quite good. And a lot of teams here in Korea have been talking about it, but we may just see a very tanky team come out of IM. Or Twisted Fate.
Yeah,
okay.
Twisted Fate to set up some plays on the lane. Corki Rek'Sai. Yeah, you don't have to pick the mid laner here, so just flashing over that Twisted Fate for a moment before the Rek'Sai is locked in, so we won't have a chance to see Anarchy try out that top lane Rek'Sai, which is very strong right now.
Right.
And then it's going for some early siege, so a lot of options right now.
So maybe a top Lulu then, perhaps. Or it could still be a support Lulu top Nautilus, we don't know.
Yep, that
you
is
never know.
Absolutely possible.
There's a lot of flex picks right now in League, which is pretty cool.
I agree, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Makes the draft phase much more interesting.
Definitely. Some better than others. And again, that Morgana could be going support mid or top.
You'd really think that the Thresh would come in here.
And he would just send the Nautilus top lane?
Don't play Nautilus.
Oh yeah, I suppose they can switch it over. 3, 2, 1, and locked in. So Morgana, Nautilus.
So we have no idea where any of these champions are going.
Yeah,
this is a very confusing draft from Anarchy because any of those champions could be played support, mid, or top. So this is a huge round of flex picks from Anarchy to trick their opponents. Well, you wouldn't play Nautilus mid,
say,
you could play him support or top, and then Lulu and Morgana could be played theoretically in any of those positions. And I don't know if what CB Max strategy is. Probably, if I had to guess, top Morgana, mid Lulu, support Nautilus, and just peel for Jinx.
That would probably be the setup that would kind of work most of the players' strengths, I think.
Yeah,
I don't think you want to put Mickey on Morgana.
Yeah, I think you just take the Cassiopeia, and that's
Yeah.
what he's going to do. So just Cassiopeia once again for Frozen. We'll see if he can take a win on it in this game. And that is a strong composition. Picking the Jinx into the Hecarim is a bit bold, I have to say. Of course, you get that flank down, and the Jinx will just be annihilated by the Hecarim, and it looks like top Nautilus it will be, actually.
Well, they've got about 12 more seconds to change it, and I keep waiting. But yeah, right now, looks like top Nautilus for CV Max.
Not surprising, he would play weird stuff like top Nautilus. He's just following in the footsteps of Trace and Duke. And we'll see if he does as well on it. Duke actually did pick up a...
Faker off to get more MVPs. And welcome to Summoner's Rift, Anarchy versus Incredible Miracle. I am fans out in force as usual, and a few Anarchy fans here and there. They're building a bit of a following.
I like the roar cheerful in the crowd. It says, Overlord of the roar, Overlord of this game. All of the enemies ready to be overwhelmed. Dang.
Wow, that is serious, man.
Roar is going to go ham, I guess, in this one with his Corki.
That's right. Roar's not the type. He's not the type of warlord to just destroy a town. He's the type to let one of them live and send them ahead to the next town to tell them what's coming, you know?
Awesome.
He's evil.
Well, Matador Alistair in this game. Which is more disturbing, Cowboy Alistair or Matador Alistair?
Matador Alistair.
I think that one's more disturbing because he's actually murdering his own kind.
Torturing even.
For the spectacle of it.
That's right. That's why I was doing that happy little, sociopath dance there.
Alistair's sociopath dance, is that what that is?
That's right. Look for Christian Bale and American Alistair later this year. It's going to be intense.
No, it's okay. I actually like to skip the American Alistairs most of the time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I hear you. But then you got to wonder where's the beef.
No, I don't. I don't at all. Well, leash onto the grop for TuSin. Meanwhile, lane freeze in the bottom side coming in while Hecarim will just go ahead and solo out that Raptor camp. Apple actually going for Ignite this game instead of Smite.
That's interesting, yeah.
That's the first time we've seen that on a Hecarim this season.
You'd think the 1v1...
Nah, I think you just get Ignite to kill the Jinx.
I mean, I think it is all about killing the Jinx, yeah.
Although you get the true damage off the Smite as well, so... But the Skirmish Saber was nerfed in this patch, so not quite as powerful as it used to be.
Yeah, a little bit shorter of a time on that one now.
And now Apple going to come into the lane at level 2 and try and deal with this Nautilus.
Yeah, and you can be pretty sure that CV Max, you know, having been a top lane Hecarim player for so long, you know, knows how to play against it as well.
I'm surprised that we're seeing Frozen take Ignite in this game because there's so much crowd control on the side of Anarchy, and this Cassiopeia is just going to be repeatedly locked down by spells like Whimsy and
does seem
the
a bit
Depth Charge and stuns and roots, that you may want to go ahead and take Cleanse in this one.
Even Faker takes Cleanse on Cassiopeia.
Yeah, that was in the Ahri matchup, though, so a little different.
True.
Obviously, getting hit by those charms. Different matchup, different summoner spells. But that does surprise me a tad, a hair.
A skosh, a tiny bit. An iota.
That's right.
Well, Nautilus literally just standing there for a moment. Finding ways to make the top lane even more boring. It's difficult, but he's done it. Oh, the crowd laughed right there. That was good. I can pretend that was about what I said.
Wow. So just going to be a lot of farming here in the early game. There's not really much kill pressure to go on. TuSin could maybe find something down on the bottom side, but yeah, that's what's been so disappointing about the first 2 games from TuSin is that he just didn't make moves on the map. He exerted zero pressure on his Rek'Sai and Lee Sin. And you pick those champions because you have the ability to make those plays early on. But just not being there. Lyra looking at Frozen in the mid lane. They want to go for this.
Yep, there's a flash body slam out of Frozen getting low, and that's a very fast first blood for Mickey. Frozen, just barely enough time to flash before he gets taken down.
You have to know that's coming.
Yeah,
I mean,
you should.
Lyra is so focused on the mid lane, and TuSin wanted to get that Scuttle Crab, but Frozen was pushed up right there, and that's the result of it. You have to be careful, but Lyra put so much emphasis on getting Mickey ahead. Mickey with the first blood gold. Now he's got a Chalice to help deal with the Cassiopeia damage early.
Yeah. Well, Ignar and Roar are able to do a bit of poking on the bot lane, but so far it's not gaining them a whole lot. Just a little bit of a CS lead. Not really too much to speak of. You know, I think the other issue, too, is that Frozen, you know, he had that Rift Sculler, but there weren't really any other wards around to really keep him safe either.
Yeah, exactly. And the Rift Sculler was just being taken right there, so he had no vision on either of his side brushes. Pretty easy gank.
You know, Anarchy, on the other hand, one of the things I feel they've done pretty well so far in this league is ward, which is...
Yes.
They ward surprisingly well for a team that's kind of new.
Yeah, Definitely agree with that. They do place a premium on emphasis. A premium on emphasis. Wow, that was the sentence I just said. A premium on vision is what I said. What I wanted to say, actually.
An emphasis on premium vision.
That's right.
That's right.
Got it out eventually.
I understood perfectly. When you think about it, really, I mean, a ward is like a microtransaction within a game of microtransactions, because it gives you a short-term buff.
It's all about the purchasing power.
That's right. Yep. It's just ingraining that philosophy into your very play style.
Wow, Frozen being very aggressive, even though he doesn't have level 6 yet. Mickey does. TuSin there to back him up, trying to bait him in, but it's not going to work.
Yep. Meanwhile, Lyra going to walk into this brush. I feel like he was seen, but maybe not. Yeah, Ignar and Roar, I think they know what's up. And then this is still going on.
No pressure onto the top side yet either, despite the fact that CV Max has been pushed up nearly this whole game, and he's playing a champion with very few escapes.
Yeah.
Especially because he can get interrupted out of his hook to a wall.
Look at this already, though, from Lyra, getting some nice deep wards down in bot lane, which is something that Anarchy can take good advantage of later.
Indeed they can. And also pink wards scattered around the mid lane already, just to make sure that Mickey has somewhere to fall back to if the situation demands it. Shooting out the Glitter Lance right there. Frozen finally hitting level 6.
Yeah. I mean, Lulu's already a champion that's pretty good at escaping, too, if she needs to. CS, though, fairly even across the board. A little lead in the top in ADC for IM. But that's not too surprising right now, given the matchups.
Yep. Very slight advantage for Anarchy. It's pretty much just the first blood gold at this stage, and everyone else just farming up. It's been a lot of passive early games tonight. Apple going for the Trinity Force first, of course, considering he has no smite for the Cinder Hulk buff. And there's a, I like the Skirmisher Saber here, choice from TuSin. One more way that they can keep Songyun locked down, since he's the only real threat.
Yeah.
And Rek'Sai has such good sustain anyway. You have a lot of choices in terms of what you can purchase in this game. But so far, no ganks or no real attempts onto the bottom side. Setting the Jinx behind in this situation could be a very effective strategy for Incredible Miracle, but even though Songyun has fallen behind in CS and will continue probably to have a little bit of a hard time now that Corki is 6 with that Sheen, killing that Jinx could be absolutely huge right now, and there just hasn't been an attempt.
Yeah. Not yet anyway, but the game is fairly young. I feel like Anarchy wants to try to make a play for this dragon fairly soon. They've certainly got the wards for it. So many pink wards already. 4 of them. I mean, that bottom jungle.
They know what the goal is here, is to shut down Mickey and to shut down Songyun. So play the bottom side of the map. Let CV Max do his thing on the top side, ward for himself, and just make sure that your jungler's constantly on the bottom so that they can't dive. And
it's working so far. Meanwhile, a bit of an attack up in top lane. CV Max throws the ult onto TuSin, turns around for the stun.
TuSin didn't flash to knock.
Not really. Whoa! Meanwhile, Songyun gets a kill onto Ignar in bot lane.
Wow.
2v2 for Anarchy working out pretty
what
well
happened
there.
right there was the Morgana binding must have landed straight into traps before Ignar could flash. So you have to be able to commit with that flash early, and now Roar has to back off the turret. Lyra looking for a kill, but TuSin didn't flash underneath CV Max in that top lane either, so didn't get the Unburrow knock-up, and not really a lot of damage done. And with that, Anarchy is going to take a very easy dragon.
Yeah, only TuSin nearby to harass. We'll see if Frozen comes down or not, but it looks like Anarchy should be able to get this one. Yep, they do.
Yeah, you have a Jinx with a BF sword already, so no problem in taking that first dragon of the game. Apple, in the meantime, trying to duel it out with CV Max at the top, but it is hard to cut through that Nautilus and his tankiness. Oops, tried to knock him out of his dredge line, but
yeah, CV Max getting out just in time.
Yeah, didn't quite get the angle there, so it's more harassment while he knows it's safe, but that is a comfortable early advantage for Anarchy off of the failed gank in the top side, and then the follow-up, which was the 2v2 kill down in bottom.
Yeah. Didn't get a replay of that, but I would imagine it kind of went how you suggested, just kind of chaining the CC pretty well.
It's only really one way that could have happened, especially since Ignar still had his flash up at the end of it. They just burst him down very rapidly. And that was before he hit 6, too, to get out of that situation, just barely before he hit 6.
Not bad. Yeah, Mickey's still definitely holding his own in the mid lane either way, too. And so Anarchy with a tiny bit of an edge. We'll see what they can do to try to capitalize on this. Looks like it might be another attempt onto CV Max up in top lane. Tucson spots him with that tremor sense.
He's going to walk down to Ward.
Yeah, that's right. Tucson's going to get behind him. There's a knock-up. CV Max in a lot of trouble now. Push back even farther. No flash. Can he possibly get in range to hit the turret? Oh, gets to the wall and makes it out.
Used the righteous glory to escape right there.
Yeah.
So actually he got the speed buff because they were in front of him trying to path block him.
Don't you get a buff running towards turrets as well too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is, I'm not sure if it's just enemy turrets though, actually.
That's what I was wondering too.
I'm pretty sure it's just enemy turrets, but
okay.
Regardless, that was a great use of righteous glory, which is why he got that speed buff in order to escape. So unusual to see the righteous glory first on a Nautilus. That's not an item. I mean, if we're talking about Trace, he likes to build the Rod of Ages first and then build directly tanky after that, because Nautilus running at you is not a very scary form of engage, even with the righteous glory.
No.
Because he still lacks a bit of that gap closer. Maybe you can set up a dredge line. We'll see how he can use it in this game.
Now, the big benefit, though, for IM is that they've been able to get a nice little CS lead for Apple up in top lane now. So CV Max still in a little bit of trouble, despite getting out. Ooh, we'll see if Mickey can get anything done with this roam. He's going to at least place a ward down. But they don't really know where Apple is, so I guess no roaming ganks or anything from the mid laner.
Yeah, and just those ganks in top side just haven't worked out. They haven't been effective.
Yep. Oh, Lyra.
Yeah, it gets found right there over the wall as the ward is placed down, but that'll be quickly cleared with the pink and that brush.
Yep. Meanwhile, the bot lane getting back to normal. Back to a bit of farming for Songyun and Snowflower and Roar and Ignar.
Yeah, Songyun can go back and probably getting close to picking up some big ticket items now with that kill that he got.
Yeah, might be fairly close to that IE.
Yeah, a couple more minutes. So they're just going to go get the Krugs right now, try and move directly into the Infinity Edge, I think. And yeah, just a recall from Roar right now. Wants to finish off that Phage. And actually gets the entire Trinity Force.
Oh, okay.
When he goes back.
Yeah, pretty nice for Roar then. Can start to really poke with those rockets. I'm seeing a lot of games though where ADCs aren't moving back until they have like 3,500, 4,000 gold, things like that.
Well, some of these more slow-paced games too. Tends to be the case when they don't feel that pressure in the lane, that they're going to be punished for farming at maybe some more risky positions. They'll just wait up for as long as they can. Here's Ignar and Tucson coming in.
Yeah, CV Max flashing right away. Gets knocked out, though, from the dredge line. I don't think he's getting out of this one. It was a nice try, but CV Max in a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, Mickey actually killed Frozen down in mid lane. We'll have to see a replay of that later. Big gank onto CV Max in the meantime, though.
And that was just a solo kill as well, as Tucson Void rushes down to save the turret. Not sure what's going on with Frozen because Lyra has his cask and his flash up, so he wasn't there for that one. So a little bit of a duel coming in. Frozen already at half HP, just a flash ignite, and then there's the glitter lance at the end after getting the help picks on him.
Wow. Yeah, just straight up 1v1ing him. And Frozen
and getting the turret as well, so very impressive performance from Mickey so far in this game, just asserting total dominance over his lane.
Wow, and look at this. Lyra and Snowflower just zoning out. IM helping Songyun take that turret. And suddenly, Anarchy moving out to a pretty sizable lead early on here as far as the map presence that they're gaining from taking these turrets.
Yeah, they did lose the tower in top, though, as a result of that pressure. So they find themselves only about 1,000 in advance, and still a lot of trouble with their composition. They have to be able to protect Songyun. If Songyun dies in this game, it is just over for Anarchy. Their entire composition gets cleaned up at that point, but they've got a lot of protection for him, so it will be difficult to do. But IM has a great comp for getting into the back line with the Alistar, the Rek'Sai, of course, the teleport from the Hecarim. So a lot of tools available to take out this Jinx.
And true enough. We'll see if IM can do anything about this dragon that's just come back up again. They've got the Rift Sculler. They've got that little speed boost from it. Teleport's available for both top laners as well.
Cutler is already down for Incredible Miracle, but this is a dangerous situation because Infinity Edge has just been finished for Songyun.
It's a lot of damage
so
on that
he
Jinx.
can be set up very well, especially because Mickey already has a lot of AP to shield and to speed him up.
Uh-oh, Roar may have gotten caught here. Lyra and Songyun hurting him back towards the turret. Teleport's coming in from both top laners. Apple going to try to run interference while Roar tries to escape. Not going to be able to get out, though. Songyun going to get excited if he gets this kill.
Man.
He does indeed. And now it's going to be really tough to get that dragon. Oh, Ignar in trouble as well, too. Caught nowhere to run, even with that ult. Flashes over the wall. Snowflower flashes. Activates the ult for Morgana as well, too. Rocket comes in, allowing Lyra, Mickey to catch up. Wild Growth use on Snowflower. Oh, ult over the wall there from Apple. IM trying to turn this one around. Kill comes in for Frozen as well, too. But Jinx getting excited doing the damage, but now they're on top of him. There's a double kill for Songyun, though. Nobody's going to be able to take out this Jinx at this point in the fight. Triple kill for Songyun. They're going to transition that right into an easy second dragon.
So sloppy fight right there from both sides, but in the end, Anarchy gets the angle by wrapping around close to their turret and corralling IM over on their side of the map. So Anarchy able to get those resets, and that's exactly the kind of fight that this Jinx wants right here.
Yep.
Just a couple of people all on their own. Roar, the AD carry, isolated with no mana, goes in and can just run forward with the Whimsy, with the Get Excited, and just pick people off slowly. Everyone else chasing right there. Snowflower committing with the flash ult with his Black Shield afterwards. Fortunately, that rocket hits while the Unbreakable Will is still up, and Songyun walks in, he sees his opportunity. Let's go on to Ignar, and then Frozen immediately, who's so low with no mana already. Able to get the Get Excited, then kite back out. Misses some skill shots right there in terms of the zap, but otherwise pretty nicely positioned by Songyun.
Yeah, not bad. Put himself in the position to get some kills. He's already up to 5 this game. 5 out of the 7. He just goes back and buys a static shiv.
Well, how does it get much worse? The Lulu and the Jinx are fed. So how are you going to kill the Jinx anymore before she kills you? Straight up buying the static shiv pre-20 minutes. This is an absolute disaster for Incredible Miracle, who just falling apart since they got into Champions. This team looked so clean in the qualifiers, even against Anarchy, like you were saying, Doa.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back and watch those games, I am pretty much crushed them.
Yeah, they crushed everybody. The games weren't even close. That's why there was so much interest in them heading into this season, but they've looked confused ever since that time.
Well, you have to wonder if their champion pools just are not big. You know, if what they got in the qualifiers is all they can play. And so when you ban out that Gnar against Apple, ban out some other things, IM kind of falling flat. Looks like they'll be able to claim this mid lane turret, though. So staying even in turrets, at least.
Yeah, just backing right off after it.
Yep, I am having issues. I mean, Incredible Miracle's having issues. I don't have any issues. I'm fine. Don't worry about me, guys.
I'm okay. I'm concerned about you, Doa. Don't worry.
I'm a very well-adjusted young man. It's all right.
Not so young anymore. Let's be real.
Hey, well, when you compare me to like really old people, I'm pretty young.
I'm comparing you to the esports audience, Doa.
Yeah. For that, I'm pretty old, I guess. It's true. Yeah.
It's okay. Well, the Korean casters, except for Cloud Templar, are still older than you.
It's true. It's true. And they say, you know, with age comes wisdom, and I'm trying my best to prove that wrong, but so far so good.
Well, the Coup Tigers are a pretty young team, and they have wisdom now.
That's true, yeah. They got wisdom from IM. Oh, Songyun gets caught, though, with a bunch of CC. Gets out. Wild Growth helping out quite a bit there as well. Random rocket thrown into Tucson. Panic rocket. Don't really know what that was supposed to accomplish, but...
Wow, not respecting the brush right there at all. So Songyun walking up before his massively supportive team comp could assist him in that endeavor.
Support team.
Just Songyun and his entourage, pretty much. President Songyun and his Secret Service agents, everybody just dives in front of bullets to protect him.
That's true.
The Secret Service failed him right there, though, pretty badly.
He was nearly taken out. It was like a mild success. Yeah.
The least exciting form of success.
It's true. Mild success. Where it's like, yeah, you won, but, you know, should you have really won with top Nunu and Varus? I don't know. I'm not so sure. Mild success. Yeah. Should you really have done more damage there than their entire team combined?
That wasn't a mild success. That was
a big success.
That was a critical strike.
That was more like, should this have happened?
No.
In a rational world?
No. Well, Songyun is going to get a QSS right now to solve his Cassiopeia problems after getting ambushed with... Oh, they're going after him.
Oh, Songyun, oh no. Yep, that happened. Where was the Secret Service that time?
Secret Service is really failing here. They're just leaving Songyun all by himself in some of these lanes. Songyun had no wards on the bottom side of the map.
He had no flash
to safely make that.
He had no flash either. That was not the greatest. Oh, IM, they find Snowflower, and Anarchy a bit leaderless. Goodbye.
And now, actually, IM's going to be able to take some turrets right here as well. This is going to get them a gold lead, surprisingly.
This is kind of how we expected these games to go, though. So we'll see. We'll see what happens from here on out. But a turret taken, yeah, and a little bit of a gold lead for IM at this point.
IM actually making a relatively graceful recovery. Apple moving into that Frozen Heart. And Lyra looking like he's going to be getting that Randuin, so this is getting increasingly difficult now that some of these kills have come down for Anarchy to deal with because they didn't group right there and they didn't ward adequately to protect them on their wave clear before they could set up a siege again.
It's like they thought...
And they botched their siege on the tier 2 on the top side by not checking that brush and getting caught out.
It's like they think of Songyun as like a little baby bird that they found in their nursing, and they decided that Songyun, you know, had been fed enough, he was old enough that they could just release him out to the world and he could fly free. Be free, Songyun. You don't need us anymore.
And then immediately, as soon as the bird escapes your hands, a hawk flies down and just grabs it in its talons immediately.
Yep. Or in this case, an apple. Oh, it doesn't make any sense. Tucson tries to make a play. Gets pushed back.
Tucson hates using flash for knockups.
Apple coming in over the top, though. Snowflower immediately taken down. Songyun forced out of the fight completely by Ignar. Comes back in now. And can Anarchy turn this one around? Looks like they are going to try, but a double kill already for Frozen. There we go. Now a knockup coming in from Tucson. Ignar pushes Songyun right back in there. Frozen taken out. Lyra in trouble as well here. Mickey, the only one left right now. Oh, there goes Ignar. Gets a kill on the way out at least. A double kill for him.
That was ambitious, considering that this Lulu is actually pretty fed and already has a death cap, and you don't have any more ultimate.
Oh, Ignar, he was getting a little bit crazy. He was like, "Witness me, brother!" He went in.
And
he went for it.
This team got a dragon for it, so.
Yeah, that's right.
Well done for the collective good, Ignar.
For the good of the cause. Yep.
So let's take a look at this fight again. Apple finds a good engage. And look at Ignar. He actually does a good job right here. Exhausts Songyun, keeps him out of the fight. And Songyun tries to get back in. But by this time, Corky's already gotten the double kill as they've chewed through the front line. And then Ignar does a great job, blows the QSS. I don't know why Songyun QSS right there.
Panic.
I think it was, actually.
Yep. And then here's Ignar. Oh, we missed it. Oh, meanwhile, this is we're way zoomed in. All right, that was jarring. I don't know what was happening there. Wild red buff action.
IM takes the fight, and they get a smaller gold lead. Now they're going
hold
after
up.
CV Max.
There's more action. CV Max trying to escape. No, there's only one word in Mad CV Max's world: survive. He's trying his best. He made it. Good. CV Mad Max. Or Mad CV Max. Good job.
It's pretty easy to survive when you're a Nautilus with a frozen heart.
In Fury Lane. Can you tell I went and saw Fury Road yesterday?
I know. You were like the last person on Earth to see it.
I guess so.
If you haven't seen it, by the way, and you're watching this.
It's so good. Oh, man.
As soon as you're done watching this, go watch it.
Yeah, seriously. Doesn't matter if it's 4 a.m. You can find a theater that's open. Well, maybe you can't. But as soon as one is, go and see it. We're not even sponsored by them. It's okay. I'm happy to talk about how great Mad Max was. Well, this game is a bit silly.
It is. As expected.
As expected.
I mean, what did we think this was going to be?
Silly. That's what we thought. And it is. I believe we talked about this earlier in the day. We were having some lunch, and we were like, this is going to be silly. Yep.
Well, at least IM has made the picks onto. Oh, man.
Oh.
Not
survive.
on the
Run. Well, I don't know if he's getting out of this one. You can make it. Get to the wall. All right. Okay.
Roar.
All right.
Has no flash.
This isn't the Truman Show. Getting the wall isn't going to save you, man. All right. I guess it will this time.
CV Max also confirmed Jim Carrey.
I just referenced the Truman Show. Nobody knows what that is anymore.
That's a great movie.
No one who's watching this has seen that. It is a great movie. But
that's a great movie, and I hate Jim Carrey.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say about the Truman Show, I think.
I actually really like Jim Carrey in serious roles. I liked him in Eternal Sunshine and the Truman Show. But
he can do a lot of really incredible things with his facial muscles. A lot of interesting expressions, but I don't know. Beyond that, that's about it.
Are you an Ace Ventura apologist, Doa?
No, no, definitely not. Although Fun with Dick and Jane was pretty cool. I like that movie.
I have not seen it, or will I ever?
It was okay. It was like a half serious movie. Certainly comedy, but it wasn't as wild and zany as, I don't know, The Mask or something.
Torturous.
You just think about that movie, and you think about that movie being made. Somebody made that movie.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, teleport coming in right under the flame chompers. Apple's not deterred, though. He's going for, he's deterred.
He was deterred by Morgana. Snowflower. Wow, they really like just ganking around Apple in this top side, but they saw the TP, so pretty easy to stop if you're a Jinx, and you're in range, so the home guard TP utilized. Now CV Max will have TP advantage pretty shortly.
He's doing the 1v3. Snowflower throws in a little bit of poke.
Okay, you're not going to kill the Nautilus. That's not a thing that will happen. Unless Cassiopeia's there, because he doesn't have a lot of MR yet, but you're not going to kill him otherwise.
There we go. That happened. It's like they're both kind of afraid to fight, you know? It's like you see like two elementary schoolers and they're really mad at each other. They want to fight, but they don't really know how to do it. So they kind of just like dance in and out and slap a little bit.
What an analogy.
Yep. That's how the fights were in my elementary school. It was rural Wisconsin playground fights, man. It's hardcore.
Well, Anarchy has the right idea. They do need to group up and actually siege with this composition. And IM doesn't really have an answer to that as long as they ward their flanks. Sure, there'll be some Corky rockets coming out, but they should be able to wear it down eventually and actually go after some of these towers. Instead, they're just going to split off right now and clear out some delicious minion waves.
Or just do Baron. Let's just do Baron.
Well, they got no wards. Why not give it a shot?
Yeah.
And they have a Cassiopeia. Here we go.
Do it very quickly. And so IM just going to get Baron. But will they lose a fight afterwards? Here we go. Anarchy might try something. Snowflower getting really deep. Whoops, that was a bit too far. And IM evaporates him as well. Doosan thinking about coming in. Decides against it.
And Dragon up at 20 seconds as well. IM should just walk straight over to this Dragon right now with the man advantage.
Yeah.
If they leave and recall, there's actually an opportunity for Anarchy to get it, where while there is a No, yeah, they've got the Void Rush, so they're just going to come back immediately. Good.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to let this dragon go. They don't want to give Anarchy a third dragon. No mercy. So, IM will be able to get the second dragon here for their side. A little bit of a 3K gold lead now.
But critically that Baron buff, so they're going to be able to stop any kind of grouping and sieging by Anarchy, which is exactly what they need. Should be able to create enough zones with the Corki and the Cassiopeia to take down some of these tier 2 turrets as well.
Yep.
If they actually group up. Looks like they want to go for the top side first, getting some wards in.
A lot of wards. Yeah, so I am in pretty firm control of this game.
Roar is going to take the blue buff and then head into the top side. I feel like he could have given that one up. They're wasting a lot of time right now.
They are really. I mean, they've warded a little bit, but they're not doing a whole lot.
Well, they didn't push up top or mid. If they want to take that blue buff, just go send somebody, anyone, even the support player top, to take out the minion waves so you can actually apply pressure with this Baron. Anarchy is just clearing waves for free.
They're also clearing
and then
a lot
Corky's
of
going
wards
to
as well.
recall. What is happening?
I don't know. I think you're getting angry. That's what's happening. I can feel the Monty rage bar building right now.
Gnar was banned, but it's okay. I've got a rage bar in this game.
That's right. I can tell. We all can. Frozen
has a Luden's Echo now.
Yeah, pushing that mid lane. Way to go. You did it.
Rek'Sai also pushing a lane finally after they used 3/4 of their Baron buff to do nothing.
Yep.
Some quality map wandering happening from Incredible Miracle.
Some quality milling about.
Quality milling.
That's right. We need a no loitering sign on Summoner's Rift for IM now.
And so Rek'Sai pushed up top, recalled, and then came into the mid lane without putting any pressure on the turret whatsoever, while Apple furiously clears out minion waves that have been pushed up. How do you apply this little pressure with a Baron buff? I am
disappointed.
Yeah. Well, it's gone now.
The Baron buff is gone.
So much for advantages, right, Doa?
Well, advantages make the game less exciting.
How are you supposed to have epic team fights or kill each other if you're going to take some gold from a turret?
Epic mid laner versus jungler duels while the rest of the team is fighting over turret mid.
Okay. Well, I guess Nautilus is going to TP to the mid lane.
Well, this is still happening. Mickey versus Tucson, the eternal struggle. There we go. All right. Blocking off the...
Okay, now Apple has also teleported.
Yeah, he teleported, didn't he? Wow, they both did. And they're... Oh, right onto Apple goes CV Max. Oh, Frozen actually gets hit with that Dark Binding. They're going to turn around and use fight. Tucson and Ignar actually coming from behind. Pretty big. Apple with the kill onto Mickey. And IM looking pretty good on this one, pushing Song Yoon back into the Incredible Miracle team. Explosive cast helping out there. A double kill for Roar already. Make that a triple kill. And there we go. The fight happened, and IM taking it easily. Tucson, he flashed for that knockup. Did you see that?
I was really impressed.
Yep, and Lyra, there's another flash knockup onto him, and the ace. So IM just waiting for the Baron buff to expire to make the fight a little bit more fair, make it a bit more exciting, and then showing their dominance.
Yeah, powering right through to this inhibitor as well.
Yep.
And they'll have plenty of time to get the next dragon, make sure this is an easy win. I mean, the thing is, the team fights from IM haven't been bad when they've actually taken them.
No, they've been good.
They've been good. They've been coordinating well around their objectives, and CV Max goes in right here. Frozen, it looks like they are going to get a binding on him, immediately pile on, but that Seraph's Embrace just saves him. He holds his ground before flashing, so they couldn't kill him, and they used so many cooldowns on that one champion that Apple is able to get into the back line and take out the Jinx. Triple kill from Roar.
Yeah, cleaning up that fight quite nicely. Now Anarchy pushing their way back up the mid lane. Oh, Snowflower gets caught completely again. He's already dead. You missed that one, guys. Wasn't very exciting.
He was just ulted from a brush.
He walked up and died. It's true.
And then died to a couple of Cassiopeia E's without even the Ignite being used.
Yep. Don't really need it. Whoa.
Corki steals it with a rocket, actually.
Yeah, man. Roar looking pretty good. Here comes Tucson.
Yeah, it just makes you wish that IM was more decisive, because they definitely have some strong fundamentals when it comes to the team fighting and a certain amount of synergy with each other.
Well, again,
they feel afraid to actually engage some of these fights or make plays on the map.
There were a lot of roster changes, and on an individual level, they all look very good, but you have to wonder what happened to the shot calling on IM, and if they're still trying to kind of figure out how to make decisions as a team with this new roster. It really looks like that.
It's just their shot calling hasn't been there since Wisdom left, but it appeared to be there in the qualifiers when they played more aggressively and actually took more advantages out of the opportunities that were given to them. But Apple has a Frozen Heart and Thornmail right now, so it would be very unlikely with this single damage composition from Anarchy to actually pick up a win in this situation with a large gold lead that has been collected, and the fact that IM can pretty much just bait this Baron endlessly at this point. They have a couple of upgraded lenses, of course, this late into the game, so any ward clearing will come quite easily, and they can just do this Baron in a heartbeat.
Yep, that's right. Oh, Anarchy getting a little bit close here. Maybe wanting to fight this one.
I don't think they want to fight this.
Oh, I think they want to fight it.
I think they want to prevent this Baron from going down.
I think they want to fight this. Pretty sure.
IM can just start the Baron and force a fight out of this situation while they have all the edges.
Instead, they may just let this pink ward be taken by Mickey.
And let Anarchy push up the mid lane.
Yeah. Now, what is IM afraid of?
I don't know.
Really curious. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, Ignar. Not quite able to make a play out of that.
Didn't land the headbutt pulverize combo, so now they'll have to wait for those cooldowns to be up again. They absolutely can go for this Baron right now and just force an engagement.
Yeah.
There's not even a lot of magic damage there to take advantage of the fact that the Baron Shred exists.
Well, yeah, I mean, just Morgana and Lulu, basically.
Instead, they want to push down.
Well, they get a top turret, so that is something. Now pinging back towards Baron. Do they finally have the pressure?
They can do Baron so quickly, and they have a lot of tankiness right now.
No, hide and brush. There we go. Okay, now going after Baron, it will go down very quickly. And look at Anarchy. They're spread out all over the place right now, finally grouping up near Baron. We'll see if the teleport comes in from CV Max. Lyra gets pushed away here a little bit. Yep, Baron taken very easily by IM. Oh, and we're not done yet. Songyun getting ulted with that wild growth. Meanwhile, CV Max inexplicably in the Baron pit for some reason. And IM pushing ahead. Ignar out of the fight for the moment. Songyun still untouched, so IM still needing to take Anarchy seriously.
Oh, you just back off right now, defend their tier 2, push up that mid wave again, and start to take out the last tier 2 and close this game.
Yeah.
I am so afraid to make plays. It was so easy to do the Baron when they just started it. They could turn instantly, and any big commitment right there from Anarchy would more than likely not have succeeded.
This game.
This game indeed. So here we go. Starting to move towards the bottom side right now while Cassiopeia pushes forward with those Baron-empowered minions.
Inhibitors back for Anarchy now. And a recall from Mickey down in bot lane will get him something. Void Staff. Okay, nice pickup for Mickey.
Well, with Frozen already having his Void Staff and another needlessly large rod, he's in much better shape.
Yeah. but it's still a nice pickup from Mickey. It is. You can't deny that.
I can't. I would never deny that from Mickey.
You can't take that away from Mickey. Well, meanwhile, Apple pushing this bot lane. We'll see if he is man enough to fight CV Max. Who knows. Roar having to be pushed back by Anarchy a little bit. And it is kind of tough to close. I suppose with the poke coming out of Mickey and Sangyu.
Well, as long as this Hecarim can just push this minion wave into the tower, he should be able to clear the turret pretty easily with Sheen, especially since the rest of Anarchy is actually just getting zoned off, and there it goes down.
Yep, turret taken pretty easily by Apple.
It's like Hecarim just going to be joining the rest of his team right now as they want to destroy the mid lane inhibitor.
Yeah, I'm sure they're just going to walk in.
Sangyu doing a good job of poking with those rockets, though. He's getting a lot of crits. Oh, that's scary, actually.
Yeah.
There's just so many shields on him right there. You look at his shield, his health bar is just massive.
Jugger Jinx.
The Jugger Jinx, indeed. Well,
oh, here we go. Apple coming in from behind onto Sangyu, and it's Sangyu immediately just blown up by Frozen and Apple. Now Snowflower in a lot of trouble. That's what I was looking for. Goodbye. A double kill now for Frozen.
I like that IM made Anarchy feel safe by recalling after getting chunked and then just immediately teleporting back in with the home guards to catch him when he didn't have those shields up anymore. And at this stage, this should be a win right here as the Void Rush comes in.
Yeah, Baron buff gone, but they've got enough power that they should be able to just power through this with the AD carry out of the way. Yeah, the knockup's not a big deal as CV Max gets nearly taken out. Sangyu and ulting for that one, but Roar picks up the kill. Oh, Mickey getting very low. Oh, no! Oh, that was a good explosive cast from Lyra. Got them the kill onto Ignar, but it's not going to save their base as both Nexus turrets go down, and IM, 42 minutes, finally taking down Anarchy in game number 1.
And IM showing that they have some decent team fighting prowess and synergy right here. They just have to have more confidence in themselves to go into these team fights and be decisive about their objective control. It was a good comeback win from IM after suffering that 5-kill Jinx early on, but they caught out the Jinx in the bottom side, and right when Jinx was about to push down a lot of their towers and attain a massive gold lead, Anarchy sort of strategically crumbled.
Yep. And that is how you take advantage of a rookie team.
Yeah. Still a good start for Anarchy overall, and they can learn how to close on those edges a little bit better. They'll have an easier time, but Incredible Miracle adapting, going after that Jinx while she was alone with no wards in the bottom side, setting up that camp in a brush to prevent their tier 2 from collapsing.
Yeah.
And they get themselves back into it.
Well, we'll see if Mickey and the rest of Anarchy can come back and tie things up in game number 2, or if IM will be able to go ahead and grab the 2-0, get a bit of redemption from that rough first match against Jin Air. Looks like that's probably going to be the way it's going to go, but who knows? Anarchy's got a lot of
strategy for Incredible Miracle. Anarchy, Azir Nar LeBlanc last game. Taking a long time thinking about this one, and Azir will be the ban one more time.
Yeah, probably going to see similar bans from Anarchy, I'd imagine.
I think IM will actually ban the LeBlanc this game, unless they want to first pick it, and they'll go ahead and first pick a Gragas if they can get it for Tucson.
You know, and I wonder, too, if they're going to get an opportunity to grab maybe a first pick Gnar.
Yeah. Definitely a possibility, especially since you know CV Max wants to play that Hecarim anyway. I think Anarchy will have to ban the Callista. I am thinking about this one. Do they ban the LeBlanc instead and risk Mickey getting the LeBlanc? A champion he's 0-2 with so far and hasn't had as much playmaking ability, but they're going to take out his Vladimir instead.
Okay. Well, he has been very good on the Vlad. What's the last ban going to be for Anarchy? I feel like the Gnar is a pretty big threat, but they do leave open any jungler for IM if they do ban that, and Callista as well, too. We don't know if Roar is really a Callista player, though, do we?
We don't. We do know that he is a very good Urgot player, and that is why that champion was taken out. And with the Cassiopeia, very well could be that first pick Lulu. I mean, this is really digging into Mickey's champion pool right now.
Well, yeah, if that LeBlanc does get taken.
I think you take this and just see what Mickey plays. Is he going to play the Lulu again? Well, you're not too worried about that. Yeah, Mickey got a solo kill onto Frozen rather in the last game, but Frozen still had that late game carry potential and showed up in those team fights.
Yeah, I say you go for it. Lock in the LeBlanc. Lock the LeBlanc. Oh, no. They might take the Kalista instead, and they will. Okay.
It is important to remember that this is a team that plays around its AD carry primarily. Roar, coming into this match, had an 88% kill contribution rate in their first 2 games. So IM is a team that likes to all group up and fight together and give those kills over to Roar. So putting him on a priority champion where he's going to be able to snowball this game out of the laning phase could be a priority, but that's definitely going to be Mickey taking the LeBlanc in response, I should imagine. He doesn't want to get stuck again on that Lulu. If he takes Kassadin this early, he runs the risk of getting Jace played into him.
Yeah.
So Hecarim will be taken, but that is so risky considering that the Gnar is available and that is an Apple specialty, and Gnar is really good right now in that matchup versus Hecarim since the introduction of Black Cleaver. It was already good when you could build that Frozen Mallet, and now it's even better because you could basically just endlessly win split push contests against Hecarim. So Grog is falling pretty far down the draft, actually.
Yeah. What do you think about something like a Lux into the LeBlanc? Can catch him with the light binding. Be a little bit tough, though. Or a Vel'Koz. I love Vel'Koz, but nope. It's going to be Gragas and Thresh. Pretty strong team being put together by Longzhu IM right now.
Yeah, and especially the kill pressure from the Thresh Kalista lane is absolutely huge. So you have to imagine Anarchy's going to try and get that lane swap, but if IM picks Gnar, they're going to have a significant advantage if standard lanes actually develop.
We might see Songyun grab this Jinx again. All right, Sejuani for Lyra is certainly reasonable. But they may just leave that pick till last, the ADC pick till last.
Yeah, they are really trying to hide their hand with this one. Alistar taken just as a tanky option that can disengage.
Well, we knew this Gnar was going to come in. I mean, Apple's just so good on Gnar that it would be pretty foolish not to take it.
I'm just shocked that CV Max feels like he can deal with this matchup. He'll have Ignite, but...
Hey, if anyone can.
The original Korean Hecarim.
That's right. This guy's been doing it longer than nearly anyone. And would we actually see this Lux? I mean, it'd be quite the pick composition if he goes with this, but it's so fragile, too.
Lux has the lowest base HP of any champion in the game, and it's incredibly risky to play into a LeBlanc or an Assassin because you just have no mobility, and the Lulu is definitely the smarter way to go here. Build around the Kalista.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to be.
All right, locked in. So the final pick coming in for Team Anarchy. Will it be that Jinx or will it be something a bit tankier? Graves would certainly qualify for that. Trying to blow up the back line if they go for this LeBlanc-Graves combo.
Also just trying to get in the face of Kalista early and play a lane bully.
That's right. I like it. I like the Graves pickup here.
I don't actually know very much about the Kalista-Graves matchup.
Well, I would imagine. I mean, he can... It's a lot like a lot of the other matchups for Graves where you can just brawl a little bit more in lane. Be okay with that. But they're going to go with the Sivir instead.
Well, with Sivir, at least you can spell shield the Rens coming out of Kalista, so she has a harder time executing you. But it can be difficult to hit some of those skill shots, considering the bounciness that Kalista has, just weaving back and forth in lane by using the Martial Cadence, her passive. So interesting composition. Relatively low damage from IM if Roar doesn't get rolling early. And again, Tucson has had some trouble applying early pressure and getting ganks down, and that's really what they need in this laning phase to get Roar in a place where he'll be able to hard carry this game. Now, it's also a composition where Roar can easily build Runaan's Hurricane because there's going to be so much protection for him and crowd control that he'll be able to hit multiple people.
Yeah.
So I like the composition from IM as long as Callista gets big, and Anarchy going for a lot of a single target damage to lock down the Callista with the Hecarim and with that LeBlanc. So we're going to have to be careful, and Apple has to be very dominant in that lane to keep Hecarim down.
Well, Anarchy's given themselves opportunities to make plays, and it seems like that's where they are at their most successful. So it all depends on Mickey, CV Max to show what they've got against IM. A win here would be pretty big for Anarchy, but incredible miracle. They want that 2-0. They want those points, and we'll see if they can get them. It's time to move into game number 2. And here we are. Welcome once again to Summoner's Rift. Santa Gragas. What do you know? Tis this. No, it's not the season. What?
It's almost Christmas in July, Doa.
I guess so.
We're getting close to June.
It's true. So that means we're only a little over a month and a half away or so.
Well, we're closer to the 6-month period for Christmas right now, though.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's a ward going down. Will be taken out.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Roar even.
That valuable 10 gold. All right.
Yeah, man. I can buy 1/7, a little less than 1/7 of a ward.
Okay. So deep ward goes in at the red buff right now. They know the invade is coming. Ward's being placed to check Anarchy's position in lane. They really want this duo lane. Now Anarchy will recall as IM pops out in the lane to check the brush. So will they know that Anarchy is already up there at the tier 1 turret?
Doesn't appear that they've found this yet. Still kind of walking around, wandering and wondering. Wondering and wandering. Oh, hi.
I'm not sure if Mickey should have let his presence be known there, considering that he saw the dual lane going into the bottom side. Tucson will be spotted, and Anarchy is going to get standard lanes. This is not going to be very good for them. It's exactly what Incredible Miracle wanted in this situation. Sangye and Snowflower is trying to fast push this and at least get level 2 faster so they don't have to deal with the problem of losing out in an early trade with Roar and Ignar. That's going to be pushed up and blocked right there.
Yep.
Play on the wave just to take this. So we're going to be all even in terms of experience, actually.
Yeah, we'll see if maybe Roar and Ignar can get something a little bit quicker here. Waiting
they
for that
should be able
2.
to.
Yeah, and Ignar's just going to provide so much zoning as well, too. Level 2 slightly earlier, but pretty much at the same time when things are all said and done.
Not a lot. Well, Anarchy, I think, in a bit of trouble right now, especially because they picked a farming jungler. So it's all up to Tucson. There are so many plays he could make.
Yeah.
On these lanes.
You can see Sungin already getting pretty poked out, too. It's not looking too good in the initial stages of this 2v2. Wow, Roar is doing a very good job of zoning.
Yep, has those Sentinels already placed down as well, so feeling very comfortable about his position in terms of vision. Already has a ward in the river. Has this.
Oh, body slam onto CV Max in a little bit of trouble. That's a lot of damage. CV Max with no flash. They're not going to chase him, though. Tucson actually ends up taking quite a bit of damage from the turret.
But he already used his teleport to get it back into lane after taking a camp right at level 1 in the jungle. So taking that bit of a damage. Now you'll notice that he went back. He did the build where you hold off on buying your item until you see where you're going to go. But this could be an early dive right here, CV Max.
I think it's definitely an early dive. With that Mega Gnar, it's going to be easy. And first blood going to Tucson. That successful dive, CV Max not looking too thrilled about that one. And it's going to be a decent amount of damage to the turret, too.
Yeah, it was a great return from Tucson. Finally, we see him actually having a really big effect in the early game.
Yeah.
Because that flask was used, but wasn't able to regenerate CV Max enough by the time that gank came around again.
That's right.
And there was no response from Anarchy's jungler. They've got their hands full on the bottom side also. So Apple's starting to get a lead already. Apple doesn't even have to use teleport right here if he doesn't want to. Just walking right back up as the wave naturally pushes back towards him. So a lot of CS actually denied right there from CV Max, about a little more than half a wave. And this is now...
a little bit helps. Oh, the flash needing to be used by Ignar. And a little bit out of position there.
Yeah, Lyra in the river didn't want to be caught by a pincer maneuver, so smart to flash. But that's one less way that this bottom lane has to kill now.
Yeah. So there is that. CS lead already building, though, for Roar. And AD carry has been able to continue to just keep poking Songyun.
So I'm curious as to what Roar is going to max this game and if he's going to build the Hurricane first, because this is one of the few compositions that I would actually like to see with the Hurricane first, when you have a lot of peel for the Kalista and a lot of buffing abilities, shields to make sure that she can stay close in the fray to hit multiple targets. And that way you can really use that execute. A lot of Korean Kalistas actually just max the Q first because they go Bloodthirster.
Right.
But this is one of the situations where an Emax with Hurricane, I think, is justified and could be quite powerful for the mid game. Also, in the last few patches, we did see those buffs to Hurricane as well, so you get a little bit more damage, 10 more damage from it.
Right.
Ward here in the river, going to spot Tucson. 2 pink wards, man. They really want to camp CV Max. And this is smart, because he's the main way that their Kalista's going to die. So if he's underpowered, there's not any way to take out their main source of damage.
CV Max pushing up a little ways here in the top lane too. Tucson waiting under turret. Looks like they may just want to dive him again. Apple has Meganar though. Oh, Tucson finds Lyra, or vice versa here. Lyra getting some damage done early on. Here comes Meganar. Apple's still there, and that'll let them kind of zone a bit.
Yeah, there's no way. Apple just hit 6, was in Meganar form. So here's a roam from Mickey. Dodge on the chains.
Yeah. Hides in the brush. Lyra's like, nope.
Well, they still don't have 6 on Hecarim, so they can't complete that. Now Roar going to get attacked.
Yeah, but Roar's going to go right in onto Songyun. Songyun in a lot of trouble. Rend enough, it is. Roar picks up the kills there. Snowflower trying desperately to make something happen, but Ignar is there to protect his AD carry. Oh, teleport coming in, though, for CV Max. Getting low already. Roar getting taken out. And so the teleport used to just get a kill in bot lane, but I feel like this is going to just deny CV Max, more in top. Well, meanwhile, Mickey in a little bit of trouble.
Mana.
Yep, that's right, and Frozen has just enough to get that kill.
And Frozen bumping him within turret range right there also, so Mickey trying to get a very aggressive all-in, but not finding it.
Yeah. So I feel like that went a lot better for IM overall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, because the advantage, too, is that Songyun didn't even get an assist. Meanwhile, kill goes over to Roar, so the lane advantage, pickaxe to Bloodthirster right now onto the Kalista, and Roar was just waiting right there to pop the Ren stacks until the spell shield went down, flashing for it in the end. But we did see an even number of summoners used in that bottom lane, except Ignar's flash is going to be up sooner. So yeah, I mean, sure, CV Max answered with a kill of his own, and that'll help him out in top side, but now the all-in potential is huge from IM's bottom lane.
Yeah, we'll see how much it actually does help him out, because I feel like he's losing a lot of XP and farm, too, just by teleporting down, by wandering around.
Well, he's already behind in that farm, but should all be about even with the assist compared to the kill. And there we see the item differential, as our observer is highlighting. Very problematic, especially as Roar and Ignar are going to be 6 really soon.
Yeah.
And also Flash is going to be up very soon also. So Kalista, actually Q and E both with 2 points at level 5, so pretty balanced build right here.
Oh, okay. Oh, Lyra maybe coming in for a lane gank. Coming down by the tier 1, as we can see on the mini-map at the moment. Just farming the jungle, so it may end up being a 3v2 in favor of Anarchy if they can pull this off. There he is.
They're expecting some sort of all-in right here.
Right.
Oh, they're baiting it really nicely. They're baiting it really well. Lyra is 6. So if IM takes this bait, it's going to be pretty silly because they haven't seen the jungler in quite a long time.
Yeah, well, that's a grab on Snowflower. That may be it. We'll see how much they want to go for it. They do. The box use. Lyra being so patient. Here comes Gragas, so Roar in a lot of trouble, though. Going to get taken out before TuSin can even get there. Ignar flaying people away. Explosive cast. TuSin has to use it just to keep his support alive.
And it looked like CD Max stopped the TP because I saw it flash on the lantern for just a split second. And CD Max may have used E to get him out of that before he could join the Fracas in the bottom lane. But Roar and Ignar committing to that, getting baited in. Songyun and Snowflower actually selling that gank pretty well.
Yeah, pretty much.
Backing off, intentionally taking that play into the box in order to set it up. And Gragas just not quite there when the action went down. So good turnaround, and that's going to help Anarchy out quite a lot. Only an assist, however, onto Songyun.
Yeah, he still kind of ends up sort of getting the short end of the stick as far as participating in kills this game. Either way.
Dragon being taken right there because Roar will respawn and then immediately walk over during the recall of Anarchy's duo lane. So they're going to pick up this one for free.
Yep, first Dragon of the game going to Longzhu IM. And Frozen doing very well in the mid lane. Mid and top still doing fine for IM.
Wow, Songyun going for Brutalizer here, so looking for lane dominance now that
I guess so.
He started to get back in the game in terms of gold. That's going to delay his Infinity Edge by a substantial amount. Can they continue to make plays down here? Because if it's worth delaying the Infinity Edge because he's not the only damage threat on his team. They have the LeBlanc as well. So taking out Roar again early could delay the damage from Incredible Miracle to the point where they no longer really have any.
And we'll see. I'd imagine Roar's got to be pretty close to his Bloodthirster at least by now.
I'll see if he goes for it, if he's going to go straight into Hurricane after the BF sword.
It could be.
A couple different build paths you can go. You get that flat damage and then get the Hurricane thereafter.
And we've seen both.
Apple already has that Giant Spell. Definitely going for that Frozen Mallet build to continue punishing CV Max.
Yeah,
there's just no way you close that gap at that point. Nar just kites you forever. Mickey gets knocked around. Wow, nice.
Just completely wrapped up all the way through his passive. That was a smooth gank from IM.
Yeah,
man.
Very nice, especially because the ward had just come over the wall too. It's not like Mickey knew that was there.
Yeah. Wow, that was very clean from TuSin.
You can see Frozen has that. He's an entire chalice up right now. TuSin again looking for a gank in topside. No explosive cast for this one.
Well, top is very low right now, so
Apple
may just be
very
able to,
close to Mega Gnar.
Yeah, he might just be able to walk up and kill the turret, and then they'll kill CV Max. Apple, though, baiting CV Max out. Here comes TuSin. CV Max is in a lot of trouble. Pushes TuSin back. Gets pushed back himself immediately. The ult used, but the ult from Mega Gnar enough to lock CV Max against that wall, and that is a kill for Apple. And they're going to get the turret as well.
Yeah, the minion wave actually finishing that one off, and now some more action down in the bottom side. Anarchy wants to all in.
Oh, Ignar brings Snowflare and gets saved by his AD carry, though. Yeah, Ignite's still used, but
checking the brush
like
right
Ignar
there, smart. They don't know where Lyra was, and good warning by IM. If you look at the jungle, there was no way that Lyra could have been there to help with that dive because they had the pink ward right behind the red buff and then the green ward in the tri-brush, so there was no avenue unless Lyra was coming in from a lane gank, which they would have seen in the lane as well. So really, really safe dive and well set up by IM.
Yep. So Roar on his own, down in bot for now, but at least not giving over any other kills, and it looks like TuSin's there to help out if he needs it. Should be fine, though. Oh, meanwhile, another duel in the mid lane. Frozen taking a little bit of damage from Mickey, but he didn't quite hit the skill shots he wanted to, so that one will end quickly.
Well, even if he had, the Athene's done for Frozen right now. He's got a good deal of magic resist. He has flash, he has wild growth. There's not a great opportunity for Mickey to 100-0 him. Frozen also has level 2 wild growth right now. And
yeah.
that is quite a lot of HP.
Quite a lot of wards coming down between both teams as well. The mid lane again, just really the focus for these couple games.
Well, the hope for Anarchy is that they have kept Roar down, and that is absolutely huge in a composition that's very dependent on him. But how are they going to be able to punish it? Because when Apple is at this advantage and he's going to be able to constantly win the split push, there's not really a great way for Anarchy to come together on the map and then exploit the weakness of this composition in a 5v5.
True.
They can create picks onto Roar, so they may just try and push down harder on the other side of the map and get some kills while Apple is off by himself.
Oh, Ignar looking in the brush. Here we go. Lyra comes in, but Thresh is right there as well, too. Whereas Callista still down in bot lane, so I am not wanting to fight, and it doesn't look like Anarchy wants to commit quite yet to that as well.
No, still a minute until Dragon. Both top laners with their TP up, but Apple with that significant pressure advantage continuing to push forward. No Trinity Force finished onto CV Max yet.
Yeah, not so far. But they've been taking a lot of the jungle from Anarchy at the moment. Looks like will they get the blue buff? I think they did. Grabbing Snowflower as well, too. Yeah, they did take the blue buff. I didn't see who it went on to.
Lyra has it, but Lyra also just used his smite, which is going to be, looks like, barely up in time for this dragon. Lots of recalls.
Oh, Frozen. There's a little bit of a shield. Mickey in trouble now, going back into the turret. And another kill. Nice hook from Ignar.
Yeah,
wow.
Picking the right target again. Just really good synergy from Frozen on these mid lane ganks.
Yeah.
Tucson and Ignar working very well with their mid laner to secure these kills. And Mickey, again, getting camped in this game as the way to shut this Anarchy team down.
It seems that way. Roar gets brought in.
Nice dodge.
Ignar. Yep.
Dodge on the Boomerang Blade, and now the Dragon is up. Lyra's still actually waiting on that smite. Looks like there's about 8 seconds left, so that's a window if they're keeping track of it.
Well, Tucson's trying to take it by himself here. And it
Not
looks
like
he
there's any
probably
chance
can.
to smite against the Callista anyway, Doa.
Yep.
What am I even talking about?
Ren will generally do a lot more. Yeah. Oh, meanwhile, Apple may be in a little bit of trouble. Max used his ultimate. Mickey over the wall, misses his chainsaw. I think Apple's still a goner. Yep, Mickey picks up a kill there. Not someone you really want to give kills to, but overall,
but actually
big lead.
Makes him worth gold again to kill, which is something that Frozen hasn't had any trouble with so far, and has his Ignite up back. If he wants to get it again, Apple does go down, but he's going to probably, let's see, maybe not quite enough money yet for that Frozen Mallet.
Seems to be getting fairly close. Oh, Mickey tries to make another play. Frozen's done a great job of dodging the chains from LeBlanc this game.
Why does... Oh, Snowflower doesn't actually have his ult up. That's a visual bug.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I was wondering about that.
So why is he ulting right now?
Just in case, you know. Better safe than sorry. You know, if Frozen gets poked enough, I think he could probably do some damage, but as is, Frozen doing a good job of playing within his limits in this matchup. Yep, that ult is always on. It's a toggle now.
Wow, wouldn't that be nice?
I know, right?
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, okay.
Went away. He screamed enough that it went away. So the Frozen Mallet is completed, but CV Max has had a chance to catch back up in terms of CS.
Yeah.
So Anarchy sort of clawing their way back into this one in the laning phase.
Oh,
nice.
Songyun grabbed by that death sentence. Roar is right there too. Snowflower taking a lot of damage. Roar may not be done yet. Here comes teleport from Apple from both top laners. Apple needs some saving here. Snowflower very low. Ult against the wall. They grab Lyra out of it as well too. It's a 3v4 though. So bold for IM. Where's the rest of the team right now? They're waiting long enough. Here comes Frozen now. Can he get the Wild Growth off? Just in time. No, not quite. And Roar, meanwhile, still gets to take down Snowflower. A kill for Callista, but man, Mickey is cleaning up big time. Lyra coming in, distracting Roar. Will the Ren be enough? It looks like it will be. So a double kill for Roar before it's all said and done, and Mickey finds Tucson. That's an ace.
Wow. Okay,
well, that was a poorly advised fight for IM.
Started that fight, like you were saying, a man down, and then they teleported into a very risky situation where Roar and Ignar were not really able to help. Yeah. So when the dust settles, Mickey actually gets a couple more kills. Apple is down at 50% HP, only hits 2 people. Now they managed to hook Lyra, but Lyra still has his ultimate right here. Apple nearly dead and pretty much useless without that ultimate. Frozen chooses to come in and ult Apple, and then just kind of runs his way through the team fight. Mickey easily able to pick up some of these kills on the outside, but there was such a disadvantage that IM started that team fight with, and now we're dead even in kills, and Anarchy actually has a gold lead.
That was an absolutely ridiculous fight, man. It was, yeah, man down and with nobody else around.
Yeah, no one else around, and there was not really great follow-up on that Gnar ultimate, too. And again, it only hit 2 people. Now, they got the hook down onto Lyra, but it didn't ultimately matter.
Hook down onto Mickey, and wow, Anarchy just having to run for their lives here. I am going right back into it, but they may live to regret it. Another inopportune team fight. Frozen forced to ult himself. Here's Roar now. They run the fight back into the AD carry, pull out Ignar, and so it looks like they'll make it out.
They initiated that team fight without knowing where the enemy jungler was, so they took another man-down team fight, and they're probably going to lose the mid-turret for it. CV Max having a very difficult time holding in the top side. Mickey wants the kill. He's going to get it.
Wow. Yep. Certainly will. Oh, Tucson running into the red buff pit. And he's still alive. Not for long, though, I would imagine. Tucson's still on the run.
Wow.
What is this? What an escape from Tucson. I can't believe he made it out of there. And the hook onto Songyun. This is still happening, apparently. Apple, rather, nearly kills him. I had KT flashbacks for a second there. Frozen gets a kill there. This is starting to look like a KT Arrows game. And they're still chasing. Songyun's so low. But Dragon's coming up soon, too, as well. IM can just transition this into maybe an objective or 2, but okay. So they will back off. What a crazy game, though.
Yeah, and in that scuffle, what happened with Tucson that you're seeing on your screen right now is that he used his smite with the Trailblazer to actually get HP back off of the red camp. And because it was the red camp, he got more HP than he even would have gotten normally from the Trailblazer, which is why he got such a big chunk back.
Yeah.
So that could have only happened if he had gone over the red wall. So,
all part of the plan, and they get the mid lane turret because of it. And now, that's the gold lead still going towards the Anarchy, but 2 turrets for IM as well. They've tied that up anyway.
That's funny. That's like one of those really specific situations.
Yeah. You don't see that every day. Well, Anarchy invading into the jungle of IM. Tucson doing a bit of damage. Dragon up in 15 seconds, but nobody really making a move towards it yet.
Yeah, not good ward coverage down by either team. Anarchy wants to make a pick in this top side. They're picking the top turret right now, so they're not overly concerned with the Dragon. Anarchy has a chance just to solo that Dragon with Callista. I mean, they have a Hurricane Bloodthirster Callista. She can solo Dragon right now if she wants to, but they don't know if there are wards there as they push out this lane.
Yeah.
They're going to try and just put pressure down onto the tier 1.
Well, they're going to lose their tier 1 in top. I am losing that one. Polite applause from the audience. And there we go. Now Roar going after that Dragon. They get the grab onto Lyra, though. I am just trying to distract while Roar takes the Dragon. Pulling it out of the pit, though, I feel like you would have rather left it inside, you know?
Well, yes, but Anarchy was making a move. They had to leave, basically, so they're going to abandon that attempt. It was a nice try, but Anarchy already starting to set up. They have position in the river. Here goes Mickey for a little poke damage.
Yep, Apple there, close to Meganar. IM can certainly bully their way into this mid lane if they want to. Oh, recall actually for CV Max. He's got teleport, so he can come back And he will do that. Teleport for CV Max trying to come from behind here. Maybe over the wall. Nope, just kind of running in a circle. Oh, man.
He heard I liked rotation, so he ran in a circle.
That was a Monte Cristo tribute teleport right there, yeah.
I like fast rotations, you know.
That was like one of the fastest I've ever seen. I'll give it to CV Max. Well, so that happened. I got all ready to cast a team fight, and I just casted a Horus man running in circles. Esports life. CV Max still with a flank here. And is he going to come in? I am backing away. Tucson taking some damage.
Well, I am playing this out right, just pulling back so that they couldn't get flanked right there. Apple does. Oh,
they hooked Songyun. What were you doing there? All right. He's not there anymore, so everything's okay. Apple nearly done with Mega Gnar. Oh, explosive cast. They catch Songyun again. What in the world? And Gnar actually gets a chance to throw out that ultimate. CV Max sitting very low. A big knockup by Snowflower, but where's the follow-up? CV Max taken down. That's a double kill now for Roar. Roar getting very low, taken out by Mickey, and now it's Mickey's job to turn this one around. Gets a double kill. Gets taken out by Apple, and Apple taken out now. Are we getting close to a double ace? Almost. Frozen makes it out.
So that looked like a very good engage. Tucson got the big ultimate to burn down Songyun, but Mickey was in the back line, and Roar was hopping forward. And as soon as Mickey managed to take out Roar, there isn't any more damage. So watch this. So it starts out with Songyun getting hooked right there, having to use his ultimate. So like, good situation, they think. And there's a Gragas in the pit right now. Again. So that's a great ultimate to set this one up. So Songyun is going to get burned down while the rest of the team is actually tied up right there. But CV Max gets a good ult, and they just continue walking forward right here. Watch Roar's positioning as he jumps into the middle of the team fight to get hit by a Sejuani ultimate and then burned down by LeBlanc. And then at that point, there's just no more damage for Incredible Miracle to kill the rest of these tanks. So Frozen has to run.
Could have been a very easily won team fight for IM. But
yeah, if they just kited.
Yeah, Roar had different thoughts. Tucson going in. Oh, CV Max getting blown back again. Do you really want the Hecarim in your back lines? There's a big knockup from the Wild Growth, and now Roar's going to have to watch that positioning a little bit more. Poke on both sides. And nothing really coming out of that yet. Apple Mega Gnar for the moment.
Well, the bloodier this...
Oh, Leroy gets grabbed. That's a lot of damage. Tucson comes over with the knockup, flashes back over the wall to escape. Getting ignited, I believe. No, not quite. Just taking some damage. Oh, meanwhile, we bug splat! Oh, no! Would you please describe the events just before this dialogue appeared, Monty? Would you like to tell us what was going on in that game? Oh,
well, there were a lot of kills.
Yeah, people getting caught a lot.
People got caught. There may have...
It had to happen eventually, you know. We're going back into the game, guys. It's just one of those nights, isn't it? Oh, we got another one.
Uh-oh.
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 Oh, well, okay.
Did Anarchy versus IM break the League of Legends?
At first, it came for Monte Cristo's sanity, and now it's going for the client itself. Oh, boy.
Looks like the players are paused, so hopefully we can get back into this one.
Well, that was like the middle of a fight, too.
Middle-ish of a fight. It was a pick. Roar was moving forward into the river at the time.
It's kind of a non-stop fight with these teams, you know? A lot of action. All right, we're trying. We're loading back up. Okay. The face on the cheerful for, I'm not sure which one I'll be honest, I don't know which one of Anarchy players that is. But he looks like kind of bemused but horrified at the same time. He's like, oh. It's like when you click one of those scary links on the internet. It's like a prank. You're like, ha ha ha, but you're scared at the same time. Well, everyone's loaded to 90%. And that's where it's been for a little while now.
Good times.
Oh, I don't know.
Frozen doesn't know either.
Yeah.
Just chilling in his chair, waiting for the game to start again so they can clean up that fight if Roar can move far enough forward.
You'd imagine we've got redundant observer clients, though.
Well.
Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh, it's not looking good, guys. What are we going to do, Monty, if we're deprived of Incredible Miracle versus Anarchy? I just don't know how I can go on.
I don't know how I could either, Doa.
Are we finally going to have our first, like, LCS moment where we have to be like, the games were finished off stream? We'll let you know. We can fill time forever, though.
We can.
I can tell you how the rest of that game would go in case we didn't see it. It'd be very back and forth. Leads being swapped multiple times. And eventually IM would get a team fight and win.
I think that is probably an accurate description of how this game would go.
Well, looking at the PC, as we get to see now from our preview monitors, you don't get to see. You just get to enjoy Tucson. Just enjoy Tucson right now. But basically, the loading screen is like frozen permanently as a desktop background on this computer right now.
And we just checked the internet, so we know that you can hear us because the internet is working.
That's true. That's true.
So it's not a problem with the internet here.
No.
As we sit here gloriously at 90%.
It's never a problem with the internet
in
here
Korea.
In beautiful South Korea.
It's true.
We've got great internet. I need to call up my internet company because I've heard I can upgrade to 500 megabits down, or 500 gigabits down, rather, for only like $10 more a month. I love this country.
I have 100 down, 100 up already. What are you going to do with that much internet, Doa?
I'm going to have a really great stream. If I start streaming someday, why not, man? Why wouldn't you pay $10 more a month for like 400 more up and down?
Because I don't know what I would do with it.
I would find a way to use that. Download all the games, you know. I could have like my entire Steam library downloaded in like 2 seconds. Maybe with that connection, I could like have like 10 better ping to NA server from here or something. I don't know. I don't know if it works. It probably doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
Can imagine. Maybe. Well.
You'd also then have to play on the NA server.
I do that sometimes, though.
I know.
With some of my old college friends. Do some social LOL playing. Get on Skype, you know.
Is that what happens on the NA server, social LOL playing?
That's
Are you trying to make a commentary here, Doa?
No, but but I suppose you could. I suppose you could. So maybe it's time to talk about Fantasy LCS.
My team's doing really well, Doa.
Mine's not.
Yeah, I know. You started out this week at negative points after day one.
I did. I did. But that's only because I had Diamond. It's only because I had Diamond playing out of Europe. I'm feeling really good about my NA guys. You know, I've got Bjergsen in double lift, really solid. I feel like the matchups for Gravity are very good. So I've got Hanser and Keen in there. And then who else do I have? Who's my jungler? No, wait, Diamond's my jungler. Who's my top laner? Who's my top laner? Oh, it's Hanser this week. That's right.
It's Hanser.
And my team is Impulse. So I feel like it's pretty good. I'm going to beat Barry badly. Beautifully. Beautifully beating Barry badly in Fantasy.
That's right.
Right.
I'm feeling pretty good. I have Reckless and Rainover.
You've got a really good team.
I drafted.
In theory.
I drafted really well, if I do say so myself.
That's good. But we all know who the reigning champion of our fantasy league is. That's me. I am the reigning fantasy champion.
It's true, you are.
I am.
That's Even though your stats were actually horrible.
Yeah, that's right. I won our fantasy league last season for the spring split
embarrassing.
With the most points scored against me as well.
Out of any team.
So I had I didn't just win the fantasy league. I won it on hard mode, man. I won it on nightmare mode.
He basically had a tiny point spread between his points taken and his points against, but he actually managed to win. It was sad.
It was amazing.
I feel that fantasy winning and losing shouldn't be about total points. It should be about your spread between points.
Yeah. I think it's impressive to win with the most points scored against you. It's like I had the hardest time of anybody, and I came out on top. That's right.
Well done, sir.
I'm the best. Thank you. Thank you. But so far, it's summer not looking quite as good. Yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about my draft. Yeah. I got my Bjergsen double lift core. I'm very confident with that. But beyond that, we'll see. We'll see.
We shall see.
I don't know.
I'm going to wreck you.
I'll just hopefully beat Barry at least. That's all I care about, you know. I called my match against him a victory lap, so I have to kind of back it up now, don't I?
With your negative points already?
That's right. Well, you know, the thing about negative points is that when it comes down to it, OGN desk doesn't need to be video game related. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Are we actually? No. No, we are. We're in the game. And Roar's already dead. What do you know? Songyun fighting Apple. Okay, let's keep track of both AD carries dead. It's a good start. I am backing away. Okay, so
it appeared that somehow
we're back in.
Wanted to take a turret or wanted to take a Baron right there, and then traded AD carry for AD carry. So not sure what happened in the interim. When we left this game, it was 12 kills to 12 kills. Now it is 15 to 13. I don't know what the clock was at, so they played for a few minutes.
Apparently so. And a dragon being taken by IM. This would be their third, it looks like. We're playing catch-up just like you guys are. All right. Oh, yeah, turn that chat off. All right, there we go.
I don't want to see what the players say either. I just want to see their sick movements on the map.
That's right.
Okay, so 3 dragons over for Incredible Miracle right now. Gold advantage to Anarchy. Let's take stock of the situation. 2 frozen hearts, so that's going to help against Roar, that kind of only damage output. Ooh, he's getting Black Cleaver onto Kalista. This is a really good build. He's going to be getting so many stacks with that in combination with the Hurricane and having some extra tankiness so he can stay in the mix longer and get...
Oh, Mickey. All right, I'm just going to end that one there. Oh, Mickey.
Oh, Mickey. So fine. And no Black Cleaver yet. Apple decided to grab the Randuins instead. So not really looking to stick in lane as much as he could otherwise against CV Max.
All right, well, Anarchy's still slightly ahead in gold too. And turrets with those dragons may really come in handy for IM a little bit later here.
Yeah, that's probably how this game is going to play out, is just around the dragon right now. Anarchy can't really allow any more to go over. And they have the multiple damage sources, so the tankiness also not really there yet, even though the locket already completed.
Yeah.
For Tucson.
You know, that Santa Graga skin throws out like Christmas presents, but they really just look like grenades.
Giant grenades?
They do, yeah.
Maybe it's more like the Santa robot from Futurama.
I haven't seen that one.
There's actually a lot of episodes.
I thought you didn't have time to watch TV.
It's in my past, Doa.
I see.
Just like everything you reference. If it was 10 years ago or more.
It's like everything before this moment right now. Let's get deep. That was in the past. Well, the game is kind of stabilized after a little bit of craziness. I'm glad we get back into it. It makes me happy. Well, oh, look at this. Blue buff being taken, and so IM deciding to go for a Baron. There's a ward there, though. This could be dangerous.
There's a Kalista that can burst this down. CV Max already there.
Yeah, a Snowflower already there, actually, as well. Roar gets
over
knocked out.
His spears went away.
That's right. IM may be in a little bit of trouble. They turn, though, onto Snowflower, onto CV Max. Where is Roar? He needs to get back here. Apple with the... Oh, he gets taken out after using the ult. Roar comes back in, gets knocked up. That's what was a great Sejuani ultimate from Anarchy. That basically set up the kill, the double kill for Mickey, and now Anarchy turning onto this Baron. What a play, though, by Snowflower to knock Roar out of the Baron pit.
Yeah, this is going to be so slow, but they can't go back in because the potential for Mickey to burst someone down is too great, and there's no more TP available. Apple is dead, and his TP's down anyway, so a Baron going to go over to Anarchy.
Oh, boy.
IM tries to deal with it, but Snowflower knocking Kalista out of the pit, reset all the Ren stacks.
Yeah. It was a dangerous Baron. Kalista or not, it was risky.
Well, they didn't turn either. They had a 2v5, or a 5v2 rather, for IM with just CV Max and Snowflower there, and they didn't take that advantage to turn. They got greedy and wanted to burst it, and instead even up the game for Anarchy in terms of those kills and then give the Baron over.
Very bizarre. So, like I mentioned, like what, half an hour ago? So, back and forth game.
Continues to be back and forth. The question is, can Anarchy actually push this Baron advantage? IM didn't do a whole lot with that earlier. As we take a look at this again, Snowflower, I mean, that was so clutch because that Baron was so close to being taken with all of the Ren stacks that were already down. CV Max then gets an ult into the back line. Roar continues to try and kill him, but he doesn't have a whole lot of completed armor penetration yet, and then he gets just annihilated in the front, tries to pop the QSS.
Let's hide in a brush.
It's one of those times, isn't
it,
it, Joa?
They know Hachani's the coach for Anarchy. They're trying to take advantage of it.
Well, they've got some pink wards down, but there's not going to be any real opportunities right here.
Oh, back on the Snowflower, and they grab him with the death sentence. Not a lot of damage there, though.
They forced the TP, though.
Yeah.
Nar able to go back to lane without using it, so that's a lot of pressure off the top side.
Yep. Oh, that was very close.
Starting to do a lot of damage, though.
Yes, he is. Looks like they're going to have to give this turret up. Apple not really able to push up that top lane as well.
Can they get an inhibitor off of this? Apple did delay his recall to reverse that wave. Now they're going to try and actually push into the mid lane, continue to snowball off of their gold lead, but still these 3 dragons from IM are quite worrisome. They have to get this next dragon. It looks like they should be able to secure it with that Baron buff, but it's going to come at the cost of probably getting another turret.
Whoa, explosive cast used doesn't
missed
hit
Snowflower.
anybody. Yeah, and now
it was spell shielded onto Songyun, so that was actually a bit of a missed ability there from Tucson because they didn't actually get the Alistar back into the team.
Yeah, you'd think that would make it very easy for Anarchy to take this dragon now.
It's possible that he hit them and Snowflower actually had to hit his ult at exactly the right time, but it was a little hard to tell right there. But regardless, they got rid of...
Oh, boy. Roar might be in trouble here. Yep, might be. More like is dead. 8-5-3 now for Mickey.
Even through the magic resist on the QSS, still taken out. But no attempt at the dragon yet. Solo split pushing. Now finally they start the dragon, but CV Max has to ult out the turret. Got some decent damage done.
Well, he's been good at distracting as well, too. So Anarchy is going to get their first dragon of the game, and that big 6% is going to be very big at this stage where everyone has so many items ready.
Yeah, and also just the denial for the 4th stack is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
So there it goes, over to Anarchy.
And not bad as well. Nice little power boost for Team Anarchy. 6K gold ahead now. So we could pretty easily go to game 3 now.
Roar sold his Phage, so he's not going to be doing that. Just got a Last Whisper instead after that last fight. The more immediate, especially against 2 Frozen Hearts, that percent penetration probably going to do a lot more work, especially if he has to burn through a Hecarim that's charging him down.
Right. Definitely going to be doing a little bit more initial damage.
Apple could be very helpful, though, with a Black Cleaver of his own, adding more armor penetration to help Roar out, considering that he is, again, really the only damage threat on this composition.
Well, he's a ways away from anything like that. So we'll see if he goes for it, maybe. Whoa. Nice attempt by Ignar, but nobody in that brush. They need to be so careful. Man, Mikey can do a lot of damage.
Mikey?
Mickey. Mikey. I don't know. I don't know.
Look at this build from Roar, too. He's going to be getting a Blade of the Ruined King as his last item, it would appear. So just having a lot more sustain and the ability to burn through some of these tanks that Anarchy is using. Now they're going to try and dive.
Tucson gets pushed back. They grab Lyra, actually knocked back with the explosive cast, but he's so tanky right now, not able to do a lot of damage. Mickey tries to get a kill onto Tucson. The turret getting very, very low, goes down anyway for Anarchy. In a different spot, Snowflower, low. Mickey takes a lot of damage, actually. Gets the chains in, and wow, somehow IM just barely holding on here.
Yeah, and just some amazing hooks, actually, by Ignar in there to set that one up. He kept people taking a lot of turret damage and kept hooking them in.
Yeah. Snowflower has to recall, so
No one
able
dying,
to defend
though.
their tier 2.
Tucson had to flash out of that engage.
Yeah.
So 55 seconds until Baron is up. How badly do Incredible Miracle want to fight this one? Mickey going back. Only just the start of magic resistance.
Oh, ooh, that was close.
You're not going to be able to kill that Gragas. He's got % damage reduction and also has that lock-in. So he's one of you probably the hardest target to kill right now. Gnar has a lot of HP, but not a lot of MR. And now we're grouping up at this Baron that's going to come up in 20 seconds. Still no Callista there. CV Max darting across the map. His TP will be up a little bit after Baron spawns. And just going to split push in the meantime. However, the Gnar will be able to handle that well enough.
Yeah. I think you said it earlier when you said Apple and Roar are kind of the last chance for IM. They can still certainly win a team fight. It just needs to be pretty perfect, and it needs to not have Roar get caught.
Well, they're so afraid of the LeBlanc burst right now, and they have to get control. Baron is spawned.
Well, they should definitely be afraid of the LeBlanc burst.
Yeah, so they have to get some wards in there right now.
Oh, and there it is. Roar nearly taken out. Luckily, he can heal up pretty quickly.
He can heal up so fast, and that's the scary thing, right? And as long as Frozen is with him, he should have enough shields to survive that, but he's been separated from Frozen just a little bit.
That's the thing, is that they need to just make sure they stay together as a team. Oh, and here we go. Apple might be coming in. Yeah, perhaps. Snowflower gets caught. Ignar actually flays him away. And Ignar just ends up getting poked, and I am not getting to do a whole lot here. Mickey trying to come from behind. Maybe he can take out Thresh. Oh, boy. All right, here comes Lyra as well. A little bit of an awkward situation for IM right now. But they're just going to go up the mid lane. Wow, they are going to fight this. This is like last-ditch effort here. The box goes down. Apple, almost Mega Gnar. It could be good. Yep, about to become Mega Gnar. Very low health, though. Mickey comes in to try to get some damage, though. There's a Mega Gnar. Meanwhile, CV Max over the top. Roar manages to get out of the ultimate, though. Snowflower and CV Max trying to chase him down. Lyra's there as well. Roar is on his own, and CV Max is trying to get the kill. The kiting for Callista is happening, but everybody chasing him down now. There's a double kill as Mickey comes in and takes him out. Tucson in trouble as well. Back over the wall, and he's going to lead Lyra on a merry chase.
To death.
To death.
And that's actually probably going to be the end of this game, as the rest of Anarchy are right in the mid lane pushing down this tower.
Yeah. Now, low health, but the death timer should be just long enough. Unless Tucson can make a miracle play here. Looks like they'll just have to settle for the inhibitor, though.
Oh, wow. Going back, maybe going for this Baron, but there's a lot of home guard boots coming out. And also teleport up for Apple in 10 seconds.
Well, Ignar can't go in 1v4 here. He needs to be very, very careful. And I think they should be able to get this Baron,
But can they get the Dragon after it is the next question, because that's going to put IM on the cusp of having 5.
Yeah.
So they can rush to the Dragon right now before Anarchy is able to respond. They know Mickey is at half health in the top lane clearing out this minion wave, so they should absolutely just rush Dragon right now.
I think that's exactly what they're doing. Yep, people on the way right now. Frozen and Apple going to that Dragon, and so this will be a 4th Dragon then for IM. They should be able to get it. They're being very careful about warding.
They see Sivir as well in the bottom lane, so now this is a great opportunity for them to get this Dragon that they can really, really utilize later in this game if they can hold out from this Baron.
Oh, that's huge. They just need to win this fight too. Songyun, they're going to turn onto him. Songyun in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to go down. Roar has a great position on this team fight, loading a lot of damage in with the AD carry down. It may be good, but look at this. Kills coming in for Anarchy anyway. Roar gets taken out, and it looks like Anarchy's going to be able to end it right here. Another double kill for Mickey. They had to go for that Dragon, but Anarchy taking the fight, and Songyun kind of giving his life, I guess, for the win.
Yeah, now they're just going to charge down the middle, go ahead and end this game, and send us to a game 3 tonight.
I guess so. I guess so. Only Tucson left to try to stop this from happening. I don't think that's going to go too well for him. Dodging the skill shots, but the Nexus can't dodge anything. And that is it. Well, he gets the kill on the Mickey at the end, but we are going to go to game number 3. As the Nexus goes down, GG. Crazy night.
It is a crazy night. Out.
Quite possibly.
But you can force them into picking Gragas or picking LeBlanc first if you ban the Ahri right now, and Frozen's a very good LeBlanc player himself, so he will be able to pick that up on the first round of the draft. But they actually are going to take it out, which makes the Gragas pick, I feel, fairly solid here.
Yeah.
Unless they want to take Hecarim.
True, true. Nar's still open for Apple, but he wasn't really able to make that be a big part of the last game for too much anyway.
Well, they did punish CV Max pretty well early, but they didn't transition that into split pushing where Apple could repeatedly put pressure onto Stevie Max, which is what you have to do if you build that Frozen Mallet first. It's definitely not as good for team fighting, so you really just want to prolong the laning phase with that item.
True.
And that's something that IM failed to do.
We'll see what this first pick is going to be. Anarchy taking a long time to decide this. I think you go with the Gragas.
I would think so too. Lyra, that has been his best champion.
Yeah. It's been making a big difference for a lot of teams lately.
And they first picked the Gragas in the first game of this series as well.
Yep.
But they're going to take Lulu instead.
Huh.
Bit of a surprise.
Yeah, very surprising actually.
Especially when in this series, the Lulu teams have been the ones that have lost so far. Both teams attempting a protect the AD carry composition and both teams failing and executing it. So you can take something like Alistair LeBlanc here or Alistair Gragas, but they're actually going to let the LeBlanc go through. So that means if Mickey picks the LeBlanc again, what will they play into it?
You can't.
Oh, LeBlanc is gone, excuse me. It's been a long night, guys.
It's true.
All right, so...
Can pick a Mumu, though.
Yeah, can pick a Mumu. So, but the Lulu has been a choice regardless against Assassins. And Cassiopeia available here for Frozen to grab once again.
The Cloud Templar trolling has begun.
So we're waiting on this next pick to come through.
We'll see what it ends up being.
You know, for the insistence on banning Cassiopeia that Anarchy had in the last game, they're perfectly happy leaving it up here to be picked. It was picked last by IM in game 1 of this series.
They're taking a long time to decide these, too. And right now, there's something up over our screen, so we can't actually see what's being picked. Oh, okay, it's going to be Trundle Lysandra? What? Okay, there's got to be some sort of
like
bug.
There's a bug in the client where we had to back out because there was a hard random that occurred.
That's what you get when you troll Cloud Templar. Yep.
Yeah, sounds like they had an issue with the draft phase in the client. We're just full of client issues tonight.
Apparently we are.
So people getting back into the game now so we can start this one up and get back into game 3 of this series.
Yep. So the Lulu first pick, then the Gragas and the Alistar, picked by IM. And after that,
who knows?
We don't know.
Again, it does make me wonder because that Cassiopeia can be very valuable in this scenario. So just letting a player like Frozen have that seems unnecessarily dangerous to me.
Yeah.
And slowly, everyone right now trying to figure out their order in the lobby.
It's not going well.
It's not going well for Anarchy right now. They messed it up several times already.
It's Anarchy. Oh, still got it wrong. There we go. They finally got
Nailed it.
Because you have to join the lobby in like the proper order, you know, to move into the right spot on the screen.
Because there's not like a swap button like there is in Champion Select. Now, why there isn't, I don't know.
Choose the spot. You have to just join in the proper order, you know?
Advanced technology.
Right. That's right.
So it will be just Lulu, Alistar, Gragas, and then we're going to start with Lyra's pick on the blue side. So those picks haven't come through yet. So we wait for this lobby to be restarted.
Yeah, we will see where things end up after that. So I don't know. What do you think you go with on this?
I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the protect the AD carry compositions that we've seen with the Lulu so far executed by these teams. Neither one of them's figured out how to make it work. Doesn't seem to be that helpful to actually pulling out wins right here when their team play, I don't feel, they don't group enough. They're not tight enough in terms of their coordination to really pull this off.
Yeah.
So just going rapidly through the bans right now.
Yep, making sure everything is banned the way it was.
And we're right back to where we were.
There we go. Okay, finally. Okay, here we go. Funky music aside, it's time.
Wow, they could be going for a very similar composition to the one they attempted to play in Game 1. Remember that Anarchy tried to play mid Lulu with Gragas, Jinx, Morgana, and Nautilus for a very CC-heavy, shieldy comp for Jinx. Didn't really work out that well for them. So I think it's smart of them to mix it up, add another damage threat here, and CV Max will be getting his Hecarim in one more game.
Yeah, Sejuani for Lyra as well, which will be a powerful pickup, of course. And I suppose they could go pretty hard engage.
Well, they could, and also the Spell Shield helps to survive against this Hecarim. You can go for Sivir Gnar here, something like that, have a lot of turret diving potential, and then finish it off with a high damage mid laner like Cassiopeia. It still hasn't been taken.
What about Sivir Thresh, because you already know the top laner on the other side?
Well, I mean, they already have the Alistar.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So
top Alistar.
I wish that was still a thing. But I think the Gnar here is just a great pickup against the Hecarim. You're going to take that when you can get it. Most teams ban Gnar just to avoid that situation, but CV Max so apparently enthusiastic about playing into that matchup. And will we see the Jinx against the Sivir? Would be a nice lane matchup for the Jinx, at least at the first few levels. Due to that range difference, you can push the Sivir out and harass her quite a bit. So we could see Jinx Thresh here. Or Jinx Nautilus, either way.
Jinx Nautilus would make a lot of sense. A big front line for Jinx, some shields, a lot of stuff to help Songyun get the damage done.
Yeah, I like this composition better than I like the one in Game 1 where it wasn't, we had the top Nautilus coming through. The Hecarim is just so much better at threatening, and they could go for Juggermaw instead, but I think Jinx is going to be the preferred one, just because they know they have the Jinx Sivir matchup already. So there we go, Jinx and Nautilus make it through.
And so the final pick over to IM, and we'll see what they decide to go with for their mid laner. Cassiopeia is still open. May not be too bad. What do you think?
I think Cassiopeia is a perfectly fine option here. Add some more damage to your composition. You've got the Gragas already so that Cassiopeia's single target damage. You can chase people down with Twin Fangs pretty easily. I think they have a nice setup for Cassiopeia, so that's what it's going to be.
Yep. All right, locked in for Frozen.
I think this is going to be a lot better for them than in Game 1 where they had the Rek'Sai with the Cassiopeia instead.
Yeah.
Just because you're able to pursue somebody so efficiently and really just use that Petrifying Gaze after the Gragas ult goes down, isolate somebody, chase them down, and that's it.
Yeah,
plus they have so much speed this time as well with the Sivir instead of the Corki. I think this composition makes a lot more sense than than the Cassiopeia comp that they ran in the first match.
Well, Gnar can just throw the entire team right into the Cassiopeia ultimate as well, too, so some pretty crazy combos you can get done with this.
That is a really fun combo to watch.
Yeah.
I really like seeing that when we have had the Gnars that toss everybody back to set it up for the Petrifying Gaze. So much engage from Incredible Miracle here. Anarchy, on the other hand, trying to disengage as much as possible. Not really, it's going to be difficult for this Hecarim to get into the back line with the Sivir spell shield there, mitigating at least some of that devastating charge damage.
That's right. And so here we go. Game 3 between Anarchy and Longzhu IM. IM looking for their first win of the season, and Anarchy looking to move to 2v2, or 2n2. 2v2. It's a long night. It's been a long night. All right, 2n2. Either way, it's going to be action-packed. And it's time. Anarchy versus IM. Time to get in the game. All right, welcome to Summoner's Rift. CV Max and Anarchy trying to take down Apple and Incredible Miracle. Not going anywhere.
Well, the fans are going out on the map at the very least. Looks like we're not going to see the early invade to detect the lane swap, if that was possible. This game, pretty deep invade in the last one. But everybody just playing it cool this time around, and IM has some choices to make, whether they want to get this Jinx rolling or whether they want to try and shut down this Hecarim up in the top side, because there's a distinct advantage for each team depending on which side lane they prefer to get ahead in terms of staying in standard lanes or in terms of lane swapping. And here we go, just looks like, are we going to see that Gromp start from Ignar and Roar? They're pinging it right now. We haven't seen that in quite some time.
Well, if they're going to go into this 2v2, they may want that little extra edge, I suppose.
Yeah, most Korean teams have stopped doing that recently, trying to get that XP bonus and really bully people out of lane early on. And I think part of that is that a lot of junglers have started level 2 ganking, which means that if you try and go crazy in terms of forcing an advantage after hitting a fast level 2, you could just get ganked in lane as the jungler just walks in and kills you.
Right.
So due to the rash of level 2 ganks that started happening around the time the qualifiers began, that has been a less popular option.
Doesn't look like they took the Gromp, though.
No, they didn't.
All right. Snowflower taking a lot of damage early on. Now, do you think they maybe just stood there and tried to, like, delay their entry to lane a little bit to make it seem like they helped leash or something?
Yeah, that's always a popular tactic if you're trying to obfuscate where your jungler is on the map.
Makes sense.
And Gragas will be making his way slowly down to this side, but not going to gank super early.
Oh, that was very close. They almost got Ignar onto the Flame Chompers. That would have been a lot of damage onto that Alistar.
Right after hitting level 2 as well.
Yeah.
So
nice try.
Blue buff will be taken by Tucson. Pushed up in the bottom lane, Anarchy. So there is potentially a ganking possibility here. Ward does go down in the river for them.
Yep. And so we've got CV Max's Hecarim versus Apple's Gnar yet again. See if it goes a bit better for Apple this time. It was going fine.
It went well in the laning phase.
Yeah, it was going fine last game. It was just the decision-making around Baron and things like that that really changed the pace of the game in a negative way for IM.
Absolutely. Well, Tucson here.
Ooh, tricky.
Coming in from behind.
Yeah.
So he knows that ward was in the river, and now he's going to wait for the prime opportunity, instead going through the Dragon Pit with the body slam, and they're still going. Level 3 for Songyun and Snowflower, though, still not there. There it is, finally.
Oh, he's coming in. A little bit late, though.
Wow, he waited there for a long time.
That was so bizarre, man. He had, like, all the time in the world to come in and try to make something happen there. Now he's just going to get caught. Going in onto Songyun, though. Songyun takes a little bit of damage. Flame Chompers come in. In the end, Songyun not needing to use any of his summoners to get out of that.
However, that was a lot of damage out of Songyun, who now has no mana and has Roar pushing back towards him, used his potion already as well. So that actually did turn the lane around a little bit.
That helped.
For Incredible Miracle as they're reversing that, and Tucson tried, can't do that dragon at level 3 anymore, buddy.
Not that early. Wow.
If he gets a lot of help, but this is so risky. Look how low he is already. He could die in one more shot.
All right, well, Ignar gets there just in time. If Juicy gets hit once more, though, he's dead. Oh, no, he got a little bit of health back.
Yeah, the Gragas passive helps. He also...
Yeah. That's about as close as it gets.
Wow. Okay. Well...
Brave.
That was quite brave, but with Songyun chunked out and with no mana, there was less of a chance of that happening. But still, that... Lyra could have delayed it, but they probably could have backed off if Lyra had come in. A little risky, but...
It worked. Yep. That said, there is a pretty decent gold lead already for Anarchy. Coming from the top lane and the AD carry spot mostly. The jungle as well a little bit, yeah. Yeah,
jungle as well. So that did cost them pretty dearly. And Apples had to play it back. Meanwhile, CV Max has been cleaning up in terms of CS, actually, even on this nerfed Hecarim. So Apple really not playing aggressively. Started Doran's shield this game. Seems happy just to farm with the boomerang. Tucson now making a play onto the mid lane, but Mickey too fast getting away with that whimsy.
Yep, pretty easy to get out of the way if you keep your distance from Gragas, I suppose, and he doesn't have level 6. And so in the bot lane, Roar and Ignar have been pushed back a little bit. Oh, not so much anymore.
Yeah, Max actually hitting level 6 first, so Apple really having a hard time in the lane this game.
I guess so.
Already down by 20 CS at 6 minutes. Now that's going to be normalized just a little bit by this minion wave, but he's still going to be down by over 10.
Yeah. And the CV Max, like, no doubt, he is certainly an expert on Hecarim in the top lane.
Yeah, I'm impressed with how confident he was just picking into this matchup.
Yeah. Well, certainly, in the initial impressions, it looks like the confidence is paying off.
Well, I'm not sure that early Dragon was worth it because they lost so much control over this game, and that early gold deficit really does start to mount up, especially when it's sort of cross-map right here, and Frozen's the only one who's really holding his own. And it delaying your jungler so much as well, combined with Tucson's very lengthy gank on the bottom side that didn't result in a kill.
Well, the nice thing for IM is that Cassiopeia is certainly a champion that can come back and carry if things go well in the mid lane.
Oh, we saw that earlier tonight.
Yes, we
Faker.
did. Yep. That was Faker.
You get that advantage in the mid lane, and you can quickly mow the enemy team down by yourself.
Right. That was Faker, but Frozen's a good Cassiopeia player too. And he has played it probably longer than most of the other pros here in Korea.
So Apple finally starting to come back in terms of CS, but CV Max just going to go harass him while he attempts to recall. That's very annoying. But he should still not have to use his TP on the way back, even if CV Max tries to push this out quickly because of the way the wave is positioned right now.
Right.
And he's going to zip back to lane with the Ninja Tabi and the Home Guard enchant already complete. Same build for CV Max.
Seems pretty reasonable.
I'm surprised to see it on the Gnar, actually. Surprised to see it on the Gnar.
Maybe just really worried about having utility to pick up that second dragon with, perhaps?
Yeah, it's... And the main damage sources are attack damage on Anarchy as well, which does lead you to that itemization to prevent Jinx from getting resets on you also. But that said, you still probably want to be a little bit more punishing.
Oh, Frozen's got him with the Twin Fangs now. Mickey taking a bit of damage, having to back off. But a very passive game right now.
Well, third game of the series. Nobody wants to be the one to lose this one for their team. So if both teams are going to be scaling fine into the late game, so nobody really desperate to make ganks this early or get any particular lane ahead. Playing as cautiously as possible and trying to build towards certain advantages. Now, when the dragon comes up again, things could get interesting. You see the deep wards already going in. Great timing from Incredible Miracle because they may actually be able to take another dragon for free.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that's what they want to do.
And because this Jinx has to go back soon, I mean, neither AD carry has recalled yet, in spite of the fact that we're 9 minutes into this game. And so Jinx is going to take that opportunity now. So she'll be back in lane by the time the dragon spawns. Tucson wants a gank right here with Ignar, both level 6.
Yeah, they're going to give it a try. Here we go. Mickey could be in a little bit of trouble or not. He's fine.
No, you know, just sidestep it. No problem.
Just kidding. And I am not wanting to commit to this a lot, too, because they want to have that dragon. Looks like Frozen uses ult, though. Yeah.
Yeah, not sure. Oh, he used it onto Mickey right there, actually. I was wondering where that slow came from. I just didn't see the ult come in.
I see.
So that's not... I mean, it's a relatively short cooldown ultimate. It's not going to be up for the start of this dragon. Meanwhile, Roar goes back, picks up BF sword and pickaxe for the possible impending dragon fight. And it's like Ignar not going to be recalling right here. Some wards going in from Snowflower.
Oh, here we go. Snowflower in a little bit of trouble. Ignar jumps onto him, and that's a lot of damage over the wall from Frozen, poking him out pretty effectively.
Yeah, that's very nice to get down early, but with the potions, he should be healed up in just a little bit. Speed Shrine already down. For Incredible Miracle, Frozen skirting the sides, doesn't want to get in range of that brush. Still no ultimate. Snowflower getting caught out again. Has the flash.
Went into ward, and he's really getting punished for it.
Tucson used his ult right there, though.
Oh, Ignar's here.
He missed his combo.
Yeah.
Well, sloppy play there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Two missed abilities in terms of that combo and then the cask as well.
And in the end, that does give Anarchy a little bit of position over this Baron area. But doesn't look like they want to take advantage of it just yet.
Well, it'd be hard, especially with the Snar Rage Bar building right now. Taking a fight immediately may cause them quite a few problems. Ignar did use his ultimate.
Yep.
So we've got a few ults down on the side of Incredible Miracle. Looks like they just want to wait him out until they are back up again. Meanwhile, everything available for Anarchy.
And Roar is still starting to get what he can done. Whoa, action in the mid lane. Frozen getting really low.
Frozen getting low again.
Use that ult again.
Actually, on the hunt used as well, Anarchy has blown pretty much everything from Incredible Miracle, and so they can absolutely make a Baron play right now, especially, or Dragon play rather, especially since Frozen had to recall.
Yep, Lyra starts it. Anarchy just doing a good job of just being barely frightening enough for IM to have to use a lot of long cooldown ults.
Anarchy found a way, to make them use 4 ultimates, only Nars available, and send Frozen back to base, so that is more than enough.
Wow.
To take that second dragon of the game for free, and now Anarchy's evened up in that category, as well as having that 1K gold lead coming through from the farm in this game more than anything else. Apple trying to get back to lane right now. Looks like he is perhaps not going to be going for the Frozen Mallet this game with that extra ruby crystal. That could mean a Warmog's armor or something like that, which I would be surprised to see, but possibly, or he just had enough money for that and not enough money for the pickaxe.
One of the big stories, too, is that Mickey has been able to keep up in CS with Frozen. Like, we're not seeing that big lead that we saw from Faker's Cassiopeia earlier tonight.
Yeah, well, I think in that case, it was more of an instance of Faker being Faker than anything else.
I suppose.
Also, it was a different matchup versus the Ahri as well, and that was an interesting time from Faker, just getting the Merc Treads first. But Lulu, much stronger in the early game in terms of able to shield some of this damage and trade more efficiently with Cassiopeia. So, problem is the late game. So if Cassiopeia can go even here, which wasn't the case in the first game of this series, then the problem becomes, how do you stop Cassiopeia later?
Yeah.
So the shutdown on the Cassiopeia really hasn't happened.
Not yet. Still a lot of action around the river, even though the dragon is long gone.
Trying to contest the blue buff right now.
Making sure to keep the mid laners as safe as possible too, I suppose.
So, it's like Ignar may want to do something right here. He's sitting inside the tri-brush, and Tucson there for a little bit of backup, but they're going to not find much and just have to back off while that ward is cleared. So they try to get a pick, and will they get one?
Maybe they do. Flash knockup onto Snowflower, and he is going to get taken out. That's first blood going to Tucson. Not bad. Ignar used his flash to get underneath. With that pulverize, now more action up in the top lane as Apple tries to escape from Mickey and CV Max. And it looks like he can. So success for IM, but Apple might be getting dove here in a moment. Trying to get away. That's a lot of damage actually from Lear over time. Apple just one hop away from safety. Yep, there we go.
And during that time period too, Frozen actually got a lot of tower damage down. Proxy farming going on in the bottom side. No one able to stop that after the pick onto Snowflower. So tons of turret damage taken, and just a TP into the top side makes sure that the same thing doesn't happen to Apple's turret. But they're not going to quite finish the tower off.
And when they do, though, it'll be a huge gold swing in their favor, and it'll probably be shortly before Dragon comes up again, too. So it seems like they've got a pretty decent plan here for the next 5 to 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, they denied a lot of CS bottom, too, so that actually gave Roar an advantage in that category.
Yeah, not bad. And it looks like Anarchy is still concerned about trying to do something to Frozen, but Frozen's just staying so safe under that turret.
Well, they want to keep chipping that turret down, which is something that Mickey has done a good job of keeping that pressure on and making sure that Frozen can't really defend his turret, so it will take a few hits over time.
Right. It's inevitable, but he's done a lot of damage to Mickey's turret as well, too. And either way, it's good farm.
Wow, where's Mickey going? He really wants to get this kill onto Apple. I don't know if they can do it through Meganar. Apple's ult is back up also.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be kind of tough to burn through that with a Hecarim and a Lulu at this point in the game. Junglers so find each other there.
Wow, I'm really surprised. So he's going to take out a pink ward. Green ward goes right back in, but he's lost control of the lane, and he's looks like barely not going to take damage on his turret because Lyric comes there just to tank the minions with his face.
Huh. Well, whatever works. Ignar in the meantime, hiding in the brush. And it seems like they've kind of identified Snowflower a little bit as a target that's fairly easy to pick, you know?
Well, they had to wait for a while to get that one in the bottom side, and they keep trying to mess with Snowflower. It's true, but he's still going to be a Nautilus that isn't the easiest champion to take down.
No.
I think you want to go for the Jinx if you can find that opportunity. So Anarchy again starting to set up around this dragon. Good wards in.
Yeah, they have such good wards. They really do a good job of keeping track of everything. And it, you know, you see other rookie teams just throw down a lot of wards and then just not use them, but it feels like Anarchy really does use that information that you gain from it too.
Yeah, indeed they do. So a little bit of vision conflict here, but Songyun is going to show up to lane in time, and this should be Roar going back and finally finishing that Infinity Edge before the next fight begins. Had the Avarice Blade just to stack up a little bit more gold.
Well, 20 seconds until Dragon, so they really do need it.
There
and the first turret goes down in favor of IM in the bot lane.
Yeah, nice push. Songyun had to go back just so he was ready for this next
Oh, that's really
combat. Yeah, that's very nice indeed. Mickey too, so low in terms of mana. It looks like Anarchy not going to be able to do much of anything about this next dragon. So a lot of free dragons this game. Very few fights around the objectives as people get poked out before it could even really start.
Yeah, I suppose you've got two teams that are just really good at doing damage from afar. So when you do that, you can kind of end the fight before it begins, I suppose.
Okay, well, here we go. No one around in the vicinity, no jungler to take this out. Desperation Rocket from Jinx just to see if they can get it with the splash damage after it hits a champion. Not going to happen, and now Mickey back to his mission of zoning Frozen out and taking this turret.
Oh, here we go. Lyra, nice ult from Frozen, though. Mickey gets pretty low, and Frozen turning around, gets ulted, though, by Sejuani. Tucson comes in to try to make a play. Mickey, wow, Tucson got the kill there, and Frozen still up. Tucson's still alive as well, amazingly. They got a couple kills, and IM cleaning up this fight. Wow. CV Max teleporting in and not finding an angle onto anything. Having to try to escape it. It looks like Ignar and Apple have him cut off. CV Max in a lot of trouble here. Tucson nearby, but he's too low health to participate, so it looks like it'll just be a couple kills there. Oh, Tucson comes back in. Waited on that recall. It was a bold move, but in the end, that was 5 kills, or 4 kills rather, for IM.
Just a pile of kills going over to Incredible Miracle right there, and that's, you know, that's a dangerous situation to be in. You come in, you think you have that pick onto Frozen, but if you start to get into that choke, Frozen has the opportunity to petrify and gaze, and Apple had a great position to TP on into that fight as well. And finally, looks like Apple, it was just an issue of money earlier, getting that extra Ruby Crystal. Now has the pickaxe and now actually completes the Frozen Mallet after picking up some money out of that fight.
Yeah, it's going to make him start to become a bit scary, too. We'll see how this lane goes against the Hecarim now.
Okay, well, IM really just wants to keep pushing down towers at the moment, so they're going to swap their dual lane into the top side. Gnar will try and farm back towards his tier 1 tower, even with that Frozen Mallet that you would typically want in the lane matchup against the Hecarim. They'll just push in with the Sivir instead.
We know that mid lane turret is pretty low too, so Frozen can probably get that without too much effort at some point, or too much aid rather. All right, well, Roar and Ignar moving into the top lane. We'll see if they can push down that turret as quickly as they did in bot.
And Tucson just making his appearance known in there. Fast pushing actually from Apple, so they really want to buckle down and put the pressure on so this Jinx gets out of the mid lane. Jinx in the mid lane right now to see if they can push hard enough to get mid turret. Looks like CV Max forced an ultimate out of Roar even though he didn't have his Onslaught of Shadows available, so that's a pretty big takeaway. But nobody to stop Apple right here. Jinx still walking the lane. So there's a potential problem avoided right there by Anarchy.
Yep. Either way, I am still definitely with the pressure this game. They've got that 3K gold lead. But that turret's going to go down to the minions. Like, one hit should do it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Roar up in the top side where he took so much damage that he couldn't hold on to the tower.
That was a bit odd. Maybe just moved up a little bit too far when Hecarim was in a brush or something.
Yeah, but you should be able to spell shield. At least Hecarim's Devastating Charge was going to do most of the damage. Now, the Trinity Force was already done. But even so Apple now back in top after a brief expedition into the bottom lane. That is going to put him right back against that Hecarim. I suppose now that the long lane is there, they don't want the AD carry quite in that same position.
Yeah.
Sung, you're going to start trading a little bit and zoning him off the tower.
Oh, here we go. CV Max gets caught by Tucson. Slow down a little bit. They trade ult for ult. Frozen was right there too, so CV Max making the right decision to just get out with his Onslaught of Shadows.
Yeah, one less tool is going to have to deal with this Gnar in the top side, however. No one in bottom to stop the push. Roar backs off the tower, allows it to go down. Frozen feverishly clearing minions in the mid wave. Meanwhile, Apple winning this battle rather, now that he has the Frozen Mallet in top and is going towards that Warden's Mail. So he wants to get this turret before the dragon comes up.
That's the idea. And he probably can. It doesn't look like there's going to be any defense coming in from CV Max. I mean, CV Max trying to get back as fast as he can, but it's going to be a little bit too late.
Yeah, smashing his face into the turret over and over again, and that's where he'll back off, picks up that local gold. IM with that nice gold buffer right now of 2.5K as they start to set up or think about setting up for this dragon, rather. Apple will have TP back up in time, as will CV Max.
Well, I've got a feeling things are about to blow wide open this game one way or another. This next dragon is up in about a minute. And even though IM has a little bit of a lead, we've shown they are quite capable of giving that up if the circumstances are correct.
If Anarchy can catch them at enough Barons that perhaps they shouldn't be so eager to take.
Yeah. Well, as is, IM. It's 30 seconds away from going for this third dragon.
Yeah, setup's pretty good right now. Mickey in the bottom lane just pushing it forward, but you don't really want to be flanking with a Lulu here. You have to stay with the rest of your team and with that Jinx so that you can actually get your ultimate and your shields down on the proper target. Meanwhile, CV Max actually having a good time with Apple right here.
Oh, there's the onslaught of shadows. And Apple, can he get out of this? I don't know. No, Ignite does it. CV Max wins the 1v1.
And that is definitely not supposed to happen when there's a frozen mallet onto Apple. He should never have been able to close the gap between the two champions in the first place. He doesn't have flash, and he waited a long time, so I don't know how that happened.
Well, either way, Anarchy going for this dragon. This would be their second. They tie it up, but Tucson comes in. Dragon still taken by Anarchy. And will IM be able to get anything out of this? Tucson grabbed by Snowflower. Here comes CV Mac over the top. Frozen avoids most of it, but Roar getting chased down by this Hecarim. And meanwhile, Songyun gets taken out. Double kill for Frozen. So Frozen gets a triple before finally going down to Lyra. Looks like Tucson in a lot of trouble. Another kill for CV Max. Roar's still there, though. Oh, he turns right around. Roar's positioning gets him into trouble. Again, Apple coming in. He came back to life. He's got the teleport, and now CV Max finally in a little bit of trouble. Whoa, but meanwhile, Lyra comes in and takes out Roar. Seriously? All right, well, a lot of kills on both sides. That's just how this series is, guys.
That's just how it is. We've come to accept it.
Yep.
That there are going to be a lot of deaths in these games. Frozen picking up that triple kill before he goes down. And then the cleanup teleport from Apple. Tucson tries to make the steal, but Lyra secures it anyway. Songyun moving forward right here. And you can see him trying to get some of these rockets down from the outside. CV Max comes in, tries to deal with Roar, but can't quite take him. Meanwhile, Petrifying Gaze absolutely wrecks Songyun as Frozen moves forward through the team fight, gets the triple kill. And then here's Roar coming back around once again, having dealt with CV Max. And now it's going to be a 3v2 in the end as Apple revives, TPs, makes it there, and then helps to take out CV Max.
Yep. And in the end of all that, we see still about a 3,000 gold lead for IM, so that hasn't really changed. Anarchy got the dragon, though, so they're tied up on that. So the game's still very close. Could go either way.
Yeah, although it is tilting more and more in favor of Incredible Miracle.
Well, that Cassiopeia is starting to do a lot of damage. I mean, like we just saw, even though Frozen died in that fight, he still managed to take 3 people down with him, and all they need is Roar to have a little bit better positioning, I think, and those fights are going to go very much IM's way.
There's the cask.
Yep, throws Lyra right into Roar, and that's going to be an easy pickup for IM. Frozen gets the killing blow on that one. Oh, Ignar taking some poke from Mickey.
And now, are we going to see the Baron attempt right here after the kill onto the enemy jungler? Nope, it's just the bait.
Oh, flash pulverize on the Mickey, gets knocked back in again. Great play by Ignar. Tucson with the kill. Snowflower on the run now.
Yeah, Ignar saw the traps go down and then reacted to it by not headbutting and instead just flashing over them to get the Q instead. Yeah. And now this will be a very fast Baron. I am looking to close this one.
Yeah, they want to. They've got the Baron. They're going to turn. Ignar a little bit low. CV Max trying to cause some trouble. Frozen, though, completely safe here as he walks his way out of the Baron pit, helping get kills along the way. And now the gold lead getting pretty high for IM, and with that Baron buff, we'll see how many objectives they can take out of this.
Yeah, they keep moving forward. Looks like they actually want to take towers with this Baron buff in this particular game after
unbelievable
struggling with that fact in game 1. First tower goes down. Another explosive cast knocks CV Max into the wall. No follow-up, however, and they're just powering right on through.
Yeah. Not really worried about anything Anarchy can do at the moment with that Baron buff. IM is bulldozing their way into the base. There's an inhibitor turret. Not wanting to push it any farther with everybody back up on Anarchy. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, just backing off and taking the edges where they can find them. Now they've expanded their lead to 9,000, so they should be very comfortable. The advantage that IM has too is that gold is very efficient, considering that armor is going to be really, really valuable against Anarchy's composition the longer this game goes on, just because of the Hecarim and Jinx damage, and really you're just trying to prevent those Jinx resets, and Lulu's there for the utility, so you don't have to be as worried. Meanwhile, Sivir and Cassiopeia, the very big threats on Incredible Miracle.
Yep, that's right, and they're only going to keep getting bigger at this rate. Songyun also playing a champion that can potentially get very, very big, but he's 0-2-2 right now. He's got the eye, he's got the static shiv, but that's really all the team has going for them.
And that's not going to be a whole lot when these big armor items start to finish. Tucson on the cusp of completing that Frozen Heart. He only needs a couple more camps and he'll be able to grab that.
Right.
And with the Randu and Zoman already finished on Apple as well, it's not looking great for Anarchy, obviously, considering the Baron buff and the gold difference, but it's just those items are going to work so, so well.
And here comes IM. They want to take out this inhibitor if they can. And it's looking pretty likely unless there's a big engage here. Whoa, Songyun gets caught by Tucson. A lot of damage onto them. They're going to go deep for it. Wild Growth keeps him alive for just a moment, though, but that's a kill for Roar in the end. Frozen knocked up, but still way out of the fight. And look at all of this damage coming in at a CV max now. Wow, Frozen just tore him apart. And they can just keep going. Yeah, a double kill for Frozen now, taking a little bit of turret damage. Taking a lot of